right. That is 93-year-old Paul Hopkins. David Wells had a chance to meet him before the game, and if you heard Bob Shepard's voice in the background, the ceremonial first pitch commemorating the conclusion of the unveiling of the Babe Ruth stamp, decade of the 20s, and Mr. Hopkins surrendered Babe Ruth's 59th home run back in 1927, and it was a grand salami. So a nice night for Mr. Hopkins to come to the stadium, particularly after the great performance we had here on Sunday afternoon.
93 years young.
And he got it halfway to home plate.
Yeah, he did.
Too bad.
I like the double windup. You know, in those days,
that's what they did.
Tricky windups and deliveries and herky-jerk motions to the plate. They weren't quite as smoothed out as they are today. Although David Cone has had a little hitch to his giddy-up, too, as he delivers to the plate.
Mentioned in the open that David Cone has won 5 straight. Couple of rough starts to begin with. That's why the earned run average is still above 6. You see the rest of his numbers. Almost a strikeout an inning. And pretty good control. Only 13 walks. But I mentioned he'll have a tougher lineup. Even though the Orioles are not playing well or hitting well, the potential is there. Let's take a look at Ray Miller's starting lineup. Brought to you by Bob's Stores. Brady Anderson leads it off. Then Jeffrey Hammonds and Roberto Alomar, always tough on the Yankees. Rafael Palmeiro, the cleanup hitter. The DH is Harold Baines. Then Cal Ripken, New Yorker B.J. Surhoff, Chris Hoyles, and Mike Bordick.
Defensively for the Yankees behind David Cone tonight, as we look at the infield, Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez. Curtis Williams and O'Neill in the outfield. Girardi doing the catching tonight. He and David Cone have been a wonderful tandem. And we look at the man who put away the final out on Sunday. Paul O'Neill coming over towards the right field line, had it all the way. Was there any doubt he'd catch it? He did, and David Wells had his perfect game.
Not a bad man to have the last out headed toward, and he, as Al Troutwig pointed out on our pregame show, is only the 3rd player in Major League history to be involved in 2 perfect games. He was involved in Tom Browning's no-hitter perfect game back in 1988. Trying to loosen things up on that bench, Joe Carter. As Rick Cerone said in his visit, Rick Cerone, now a broadcaster for the Orioles, said it on his visit with Al Troutwig, this team needs some spark. And Ray Miller says if you can't get some motivation playing in Yankee Stadium where the fans hate you when you come in here, there's something wrong.
Well, they haven't been hitting. Brady Anderson just starting to turn some things around. There's a look at Rick Cerone.
Hey, happy birthday to Rick Cerone. He's trying to pass off. First pitch grounded toward Tino Martinez. 1 pitch, 1 out. Trying to pass off as being 44, but rumor has it he's 49 today.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Rick Cerone. And you were mentioning about the Orioles not hitting, and Brady Anderson came up with a 6-game hitting streak, but you saw his average at 132. He was down on the state roads. He was 0-74 at one point. Ray Miller, I talked to before the game, said this team isn't hitting. The starting pitching has not been there, certainly with the absence of Mike Mussina. So they have struggled in all aspects of the game. Not much speed.
For a strike to Hammonds. When you don't set the table for those 3 and 4 hitters, the Orioles have hit their share of home runs, but nobody getting on ahead of them. 1-1. And when you have a leader like Cal Ripken Jr., who is a very, very low-key guy, you know from having played with him, sometimes the team tends to take on that personality. In the air to left, Curtis is there. 2 down.
Rip, like the rest of the team, has kind of struggled of late. He's coming off a homestand where he went 2 for 22. One of the few guys who's been swinging the bat well has been Roberto Alomar. When Anderson was out of the lineup, Alomar was moved to the leadoff spot. And now with Brady Anderson back, Alomar's back down to the 3rd spot. But you can see only 3 home runs and 13 RBIs.
He's always hit well against the Yankees, and as Roberto has become accustomed to when he's introduced, the chorus of boos in the background. 2 hops to Knobloch. A nice easy inning for David Cone. A 4-pitch inning. Wow, very efficient. Orioles go quietly. Yankees coming to bat against journeyman Doug Johns when we return on MSG.
Big rig looks and magnum power are real bonuses for Dodge Ram owners. But we'd like to show you a few more, like a low $214 a month lease. Or choose 1.9 financing, which can save you $1,700 over 36 months. Plus, select customers get a Dodge owner's bonus of $500 cash back. which means you could save up to $2,200. Now that's a bonus you can bank on, but only for a limited time. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
McDonald's is going wild over the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's most adventurous theme park ever.
This is wild.
And when you supersize any extra value meal, like our bold, tangy McRib, you'll go wild too. Because now you can get one of 4 fiercely collectible cups free and a chance to win a wild vacation to Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park from McDonald's. Where can you go this wild?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Nobody does it like you.
A revolving brush or 5 rotating brushes, a manual hand tool or one powered with 2 more brushes. The choice is easy.
Nobody
Steam Vac Ultra.
does it like you.
David Wells and his battery mate Jorge Posada seated next to him. And David gave a lot of credit to Posada for the game he called. Only had to shake him off 2 times. Looking right now at 28-year-old Doug Johns, just off the disabled list. The last time he pitched was back on May 1st. May 2nd, I believe, and he only pitched an inning. 15 hits in 11 innings. Take a look at the Yankee lineup, which is the usual one against left-hand pitching. It starts with Knobloch, then Jeter and O'Neill, Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, Tim Raines. In the middle is the DH. Chad Curtis, Scott Brocious, and Joe Girardi.
Baltimore Orioles on defense. In the infield, Ripken at third, Bordick, Alomar, and Palmeiro round out the infield. Surhoff, Anderson, Hammonds in the outfield. Hoyle's doing the catching, and Doug Johns on the mound. Look at Roberto Alomar, whose string of Gold Gloves was stopped at 6 last year when twin second baseman Chuck Knobloch won his first Gold Glove. So Alomar still with the great range, and a lot of people feel he is the best fielding second baseman in the league.
Mentioned the steps in the plate in every stadium to a chorus of boos, and that's understandable. It's a regrettable act, but I mean, this is a good young man and a great ball player. That was just one instance that he regrets, but he's going to have to live with it for a long, long time.
I think for the rest of his career.
Yep. Johns' first pitch, low to Knobloch. Doug Johns, 28 years old. Al Trautwig mentioned he was pitching in Italy last year when the Orioles signed him to a minor league contract, and because of the injury to Mike Messina, inserted into the starting rotation. 2-0.
Mid-80s fastball, tops maybe 86, short burst. He's not expected to go very long tonight. And referring to his battle with insomnia, which he's been treated for medically, he's in the city that never sleeps tonight.
Right at home. That's high, and it's 3-0.
You mentioned Alomar, and situation where the Orioles played down at Tampa Bay. He was booed lustily by the new fans there down at the Tropicana Dome. And Ray Miller made a decision to bat him in front of Cal Ripken. Of course, he was booed lustily. Ripken comes up next, and they cheer Ripken. Ray Miller said he would never bat them back-to-back again in the lineup.
Trying to get over that.
Yep.
There's Ray Miller taking over from Davey Johnson, who managed last year's team, as Knobloch draws a leadoff walk. That'll bring up the Yankees' hottest hitter, riding a 13-game hitting streak. Derek Jeter, the average up to 337, top 5 in the American League.
One thing you might watch for early in the game here with Knobloch or Jeter getting on base. Chris Hoyles has a reputation of not being able to throw out many base runners, and everybody in the league knows it.
Exactly what you said, Kenny. They're going to gamble early, and Knobloch committed too quickly, and Palmeiro and Bordick played it perfectly.
Knobloch going on first move, and the first move was a throw over the first base, and still he almost beat the play. Nice play by Bordick to dig out the throw and then hold on to the baseball as Knobloch slid in. So the Yankees have their engines revved up.
Off-speed pitch to Jeter, misses, and Johns has yet to throw a strike. If Knobloch slides to the other side of the bag, he's in there. He slid right into the tag. Up the middle, Jeter make the hitting streak 14 with a 1-out single. Take a look at tonight's umpires. The lineup brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation. Most timely, cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes. Drew Coble behind the plate. Dale Ford, Larry Young at the corners. And Ted Henry at second base.
Now, when you got a little hitting streak going, you get a hit that first time up. It takes a little pressure off. You can go on and try and have yourself a real good night. Jeter gets that base hit.
Paul O'Neill steps in. You'll note Palmeiro at first base. He will come off the bag so that he can catch the pickoff throw. See, he can catch it there and cut down. That's what he did to Knobloch. He goes toward the mound, catches the ball, and he's able to get it to second base a little quicker.
It should give him a better angle on the throw to second.
Won the Gold Glove as the American League's best fielding first baseman last year. Breaking ball, and Johns has now thrown, I believe, 7 pitches and only 1 strike. Chances are, even if he pitches effectively, you'll only see him for about 3 innings. He's just come off the disabled list as Bernie waits on deck.
Yeah, they were saying about his insomnia, speaking of Johns, that he'd wake up 3 or 4 times a night, really couldn't fall asleep, maybe a couple of winks here and there, and then when he got to the ballpark, he was exhausted. And he was sitting on the bench kind of staring off into space, and that's how tired he was. And he's got medical treatment for it, and hopefully he's doing all right from this point on.
Product of the University of Virginia, Doug Johns. Jeter reads that move, stays back. Came up with the Oakland Athletics. Some of you Yankee fans may remember that. Drafted by the A's in the 16th round back in 1990.
It's obvious the Orioles have gotten the scouting reports. The Yankees, particularly at the top of the order, taking off Jeter and Knobloch. All these throws over the first.
Outside to O'Neill. And it's 2-0. Chances are you will not see as liberal a strike zone with this umpiring crew. We check out our New York Marriott Marquis pitching matchup. Last outing for Doug Johns, an inning of relief back on May 2nd. Gave up a game-winning home run. David Cone last Wednesday against the Rangers, 6 1/3, picked up a win, 7 strikeouts, and no walks. Up the middle, O'Neill has a line single to left center. And the Yankees have 2 on with 1 out. Johns yet to retire a batter, just the pickoff throw.
Well, he is a contact type pitcher. He's not going to blow it by anybody. Doesn't have the real sharp breaking ball, and Paul O'Neill just goes out and gets a base hit to center field.
O'Neill checking with Jose Cardinal. He's getting a little instruction now as to where the outfielders are playing and who's got a good arm and who doesn't. And Bernie steps in. He was the hitting hero yesterday with a pair of doubles, a home run, average up to .314.
Scored 3 of the 4 Yankee runs.
Outside, ball 1. He's only found the strike zone with a couple of pitches, and both of those have been base hits. Jeter and O'Neill got them both. Way inside, low, 2-1. And if you like, or 2-0 rather, and if you like a lot of action, stay tuned all night. You see what Bernie did against the Twins, because when these two teams get together, the games are long, they're high scoring. There's a lot of activity. They own the 2 longest 9-inning games in Major League history. You see Johns with the cross-seam fastball grip.
Trying to get it to sink, move away from Bernie Williams if he can, and get himself a ground ball.
Pickoff play on. Jeter not very far off the bag, back easily. Kenny, you know from coming up against teams that are struggling, if you jump on them early, it just demoralizes them. You coming off a 4-game sweep at home by the expansion Tampa Bay Devil Rays and fall behind early in this one, it'll take a lot of juice out of that team.
Not only the 2nd time in history that an expansion team has swept another ball club 4 times. The Rockies did it back in 1993 in their first year.
Big swing, and it's 2-1.
I think from a hitting standpoint, when you faced I like to call him a soft tossing lefty.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, but you can't be over anxious. You get up there, you see the guy's not throwing very hard, and you figure you can just crank on anything like it's batting practice. He has more movement than a batting practice pitcher. He's spotting the ball to the corners as opposed to throwing it right down the middle. You got to really wait for your pitch.
See the changeup grip, and that's what it was. Tapped out towards short. Bordick with an alert play flips to Ripken to get the lead runner. Heads up by Bordick, second out of the inning.
Well, that's the experienced shortstop, and Bordick realized it had been a tough play to throw to second. So he gets the lead runner with Ripken standing right on the bag. Good work by both the shortstop and the third baseman. Ripken knowing exactly where he has to be, because if Bordick throws that way and Ripken's not on the bag, Jeter's going to be saved.
So now 2 on and 2 out for Tino Martinez.
And Bordick not flashy at short, but certainly a steady performer. Solid glove. You won't see him with the strong arm like Jeter, but he gets rid of the ball quickly.
Played alongside Yankee third baseman Scott Brosius during their Oakland days. Tino with the average at .324. 6 home runs and 37 RBIs. On the edge, strike one. You mentioned John's pitching style. The Yankees over the past few years have been victimized by some pitchers who are not your prototype power left-handers, like Vaughn Eshelman and Steve Wojciechowski, Rich Robertson of the Twins. And Johns fits into that kind of mold. Sinker, slider. Raines waits on deck. And it's 1-1. And you pointed out, even with all the activity, the inactivity of Tim Raines, he manages to continue to hit well.
Well, let's go back to early in the season when the Yankees faced Jamie Moyer out in Seattle. Certainly not a hard thrower.
Fouled straight back. Had his pitch to hit there. Fouled it straight back, and it's 1-2. Jimmy Key will take the mound tomorrow night for the Baltimore Orioles with a 4-2 record, former Yankee. And Scott Erickson on his left will pitch the series finale on Thursday. We'll have it for you tomorrow, starting with our New York Marriott scorecard show at 7 o'clock. Hideki Irabu will pitch for the Yankees.
Yeah, Jamie Moyer pitched against the Yankees on April the 6th at the Kingdome, and the Mariners won 8-0. Moyer struck out 11 in 7 innings.
Mostly on changeups. Got him, I think.
Nope.
No, he got out of the way. Tino tried to take one for the team, turned his back to it, and it just missed him. Counts even, 2-2.
Now this pitch slow enough that Tino could get out of the way. Watch him with the jackknife, just missed the hip.
Probably saying, I don't want to get hit. I want to take a swing. Couple of men on there. He wants some RBIs. That one did get him. That one did get him. And Doug Johns, if not for the pickoff move, boy, the Yankees would have some inning going. And there's a former teammate of yours, the Oriole pitching coach, going to the mound.
And Mike Flanagan trying to settle down a left-hander, one lefty to another, and you can see that, well, right on the elbow. He tried to come inside with a breaking ball, followed up with a fastball. And Tino will take the route down to first base after being clipped. So there's a look at the Cy Young Award winner, Mike Flanagan, back in 1979 with Baltimore. Had a year where he was 23-9.
And he didn't do it with a lot of power. One of the best changeups in baseball. Here's a look at the National Finance Corporation Skycam. As you see Tino taking that pitch on the elbow. National Finance Corporation. Homeowners, lower your monthly payments. Apply by phone 1-800-LOAN-NFC. That's the third time this year that Tino has been plunked by a pitch. And Raines will step in with the bases loaded. There's a little strawberry, we call it in the dugout, an abrasion that Knobloch got from sliding into second base. Being tended to by Gene Monahan. Average over 300 like most of the Yankees. Low for a ball. He's done well in this situation in his career. O'Neill's at third. He got a single. Bernie is at second. Tino was hit by a pitch. He's at first. Towards short, and Bordick has it. The flip to Alomar, nicely done. Boy, Mike Bordick with a slick play, and Doug Johns a shaky first inning, but escapes without giving up a run. We head to the Oriole half of the second at the stadium. No score.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you still haven't called for your MLB extra innings? What are you waiting for? A free preview? Well, you got it. From Thursday, May 14th to Tuesday, May 19th, you can see up to 38 great matchups on DirecTV Sports. That's almost a full week of Major League action for free. Watch the O's square off with the Yanks in an AL East grudge match. Or catch the Atlanta Braves versus the big bats of the Houston Astros. And be there at Fenway to see the Battle of the Sox as Chicago takes on Boston. See up to 9 games a day. All you have to do is tune in to Channel 302 for the daily sports schedules. Then just kick back and enjoy. But don't forget your remote, because this is too much baseball to contain on just one channel. So where else can you get this much action for free? Only on DirecTV.
It's your exclusive free connection to the summer's hottest hits.
Whoa, those are some special effects.
And when you stay with Sprint, you'll get 2 more free movie tickets each month, up to 8 in all. This summer movie spectacular is your ticket to great entertainment, and it's only from Sprint.
And you thought this summer was going to be boring.
Switch to Sprint and get up to 8 free tickets to your choice of this summer's hottest hits. Call 1-800-649-3372.
Warm evening in the Bronx as you look at the traffic moving outside Yankee Stadium. And a reminder, you can catch the rest of the action between the Orioles and the Yankees. The series continues tomorrow, May 20th, and then Thursday, May 21st, both games at 7:30. And from now until May 31st, you can vote for the Decade of the 1960s stamp, highlighted by Roger Maris' 61 home runs in 1961. You vote at the stadium or on the web, www.yankees.com. Tickets available at the stadium, Ticketmaster, Yankee Clubhouse stores, even on the web. How about that? A spanking new pitching rubber, because I would imagine they'd remove that one and give it to David Wells.
Either that or it's on its way to Cooperstown.
Yeah. Well, if I was high for a ball, if I was Boomer, I would like to have that. I know we had a backup catcher back in the 80s, backup catcher named Glenn Brummer, who stole home one night, and we got the plate removed and autographed it and gave it to him. Outside to Palmeiro, 2-0. So I mean, that would be about as nice a memento as you could have if you're David Wells, the pitching rubber with all the guys that were in the game, or the whole team.
The whole
for that
team,
matter.
yeah.
Now Cone, after throwing just 4 pitches in the first inning, had a long wait. An unproductive first inning for the Yankees. They left them loaded. I don't think that's the game ball. Swinging on 3-0. Wow. I mean, when you saw the Orioles take the field tonight during batting practice versus the Yankees, you can tell it's a team that is lacking a spark.
Well, you go in their clubhouse before the ball game is really quiet.
Yeah. Left field near the corner, slicing. Curtis will not be able to catch up with it, and Palmeiro is going to have a leadoff double.
Well, Rafael Palmeiro, after swinging 3-0, gets a 3-1 pitch and drives it into the corner for a 2-base hit. Well, the target is out there, the pitch was out there, and he just went with it. Palmeiro, more or less a pull hitter, will go the opposite way and pick up a 2-base hit. I don't know if he knew what the count was, 3-0 or not, because leading off an inning, I mean, taking 3-0 is automatic.
Yeah, early in the game with a pitcher like David Cone, you'd like to make him throw a strike, but it paid off. And speaking of plate coverage, one of the best right here, veteran Harold Baines, the designated hitter. On the edge, strike one. 39 years old, still productive.
Harold sharing the DH role with Joe Carter. And you notice one thing, how far he stands off the plate, but that tells me that he likes the ball out over the plate. He tries to make this area look like it's wide open for the pitcher, but he hits the ball as well to the opposite field as any left-handed hitter in this league.
You got that right. In fact, he's not as far away right now, Kenny, as I've seen him. He usually gets way, and that's an old, you know, pitchers look at a hitter, and that's one of the things they program in their mind. A guy that stands away from the plate likes it away from the plate.
Joe Carter on your left and future Hall of Famer Eddie Murray on the right. Now a coach for the Orioles.
Good off-speed pitch, and as you mentioned in our open, David Cohn's breaking ball is getting crisper and sharper each start.
I think partially because the weather's warming up, and he's able to get loose, get that arm loose early in the ball game, and break off some really nasty breaking balls. And Harold Baines over the top.
Clouding up beyond the outfield walls here at Yankee Stadium. No forecast of rain, but it certainly looks like it could. A little over 80 degrees at game time. Manager Ray Miller.
Seen his ball club lose 5 in a row.
Off the inside edge, 2-2.
Got to remember that the Orioles started out 10-2 this year. They were getting some timely hitting, but obviously things are not going well. Obviously I'm not happy, but I'm not down. The one thing I haven't done is point fingers. If you want to point fingers, point them at me. I'm the one sitting in the chair. I'll just stay with these guys and see what happens. From our American Express quote book.
And there's that plate coverage that Harold Baines shows. He reaches for that and drives in the first run of the ball game. Orioles on the board first. They lead it 1-0.
Well, they haven't been getting the timely hitting. This is one of the guys that's supposed to be doing it. And Harold Baines, when you look at some of the career lists, I mean, now he's 39 years old, a veteran. He's up there in all categories. One of the top 3 run producers among active players. In fact, the Orioles have all 3. They have Ripken, Joe Carter, and Harold Baines.
As Palmeiro scores the first run of the ball game. And Cal Ripken Jr. steps in. First strike. Again, if you're the Yankees, you like to jump on teams like this early that have been struggling, and the Yankees are going to look back right now at that pickoff or attempted steal by Knobloch. They could have blown this game open. Now the Orioles come right back in the second inning with a couple of hits and take the lead.
Ripken 2 for his last 22 with a double. One of those 2 hits.
In the air to left, Curtis near the line, long run, and he's going to make the running grab. That's the first out of the second inning for the Orioles.
Well, it looked like Curtis took the great circle route, didn't it? Long way to come on this one. I don't know if it doesn't seem to be much wind out here tonight, but with his skills in the outfield, he makes a nice running catch. There's the first out.
Kenny, it looked like one of those balls you could identify with this as an outfielder that Ripken took a big swing, but it was hit off the end of the bat. Didn't carry quite as far as Chad thought it would. A couple of lots of potential Hall of Famers down in that dugout. Ripken and Murray. Surhoff steps in, the native New Yorker, born in the Bronx. The average of 270. What a versatile player to have on your ball club. Came up with the Milwaukee Brewers as a catcher, plays third base, now settles into the outfield. Low for ball. He was the #1 player picked in the draft in, I believe, 1984 out of the University of North Carolina. Yep, down the right field line. It'll be in for extra bases. O'Neill plays it perfectly out of the corner, and Baines is held at third, and the Orioles have second and third with 1 out here in the second inning.
It'll be interesting to see where this pitch is. Now the target is kind of up, but the pitch drifts toward the middle of the plate, and that's the sweet spot area for any hitter. Ball is drilled to the corner. O'Neill plays it very, very well out of the corner. Another look at the pitch and the contact, and you see nice level swing, slight upswing to it, I should say, and the ball is driven to the corner for the 2-base hit. The Orioles have kind of knocked David Cone around here in the second inning.
Chris Hoyles a step in and a chance to score a couple of more here in the second. Average just a bit over 200. Outside ball one. I'll correct that. B.J. Surhoff drafted as the first player in the 1985 amateur draft.
He was picked ahead of players like Will Clark, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, Walt Weiss, Greg Jeffries, and Joey Cora. It's a pretty good ball player.
Yeah. 1-1. Coming off a perfect game here at Yankee Stadium, we understand Woody Williams of the Toronto Blue Jays perfect through 4. Baines and Surhoff your base runners. Good pitch there, and it's 1-2.
Well, David Cone came in with an ERA of 6.36. It has been coming down, but one reason why he's been able to win 5 in a row, the Yankees average the most run support for David Cone than any other pitcher in the league, over 8 runs per game. So the Yankees have their hitting shoes on when David Cone pitches.
Fans applauding for a strikeout. Inside, 2-2. The earned run average a little deceptive because David Cone, he's only pitched into the 7th inning one time. He averages a little over 5 innings a start. So Joe Torre limits him to a little over 100 pitches. He goes out there 5+ innings, gives up 3 to 4 runs, and that translates into an ERA of over 6. You see the run support. In on the hands, fouled out of play, and still 2-2 to Hoyles. Here is an area where the Orioles have not been productive. They talk about hitting home runs with nobody on base, but they haven't advanced base runners, made productive outs like the Yankees do. So here's a chance for Hoyles to do that with men on second and third, 1 out.
And talking to Ray Miller, he says they've settled into a home run derby offense. They homered in 19 straight games at one point.
Hoyles stays alive, still 2-2. There's an ex-Yankee, Rick Down, who was the hitting coach here under manager Buck Showalter. Could even tell it on his face. I saw him before the game, and you know, it's the same old, how's it going? We're grinding it out. I mean, it's they're coming in here about as low as a team can be. That was a team that was supposed to win. Outside, the count's gone full, and if the Yankees could win this series 2 out of 3, I mean, they're already 14 games ahead of the Orioles. This series most important to Baltimore. Joe Torre would like to see the team keep its winning ways, the Yankees, but if the Orioles would sweep this series, it would give them a little spark.
They have 14 games in the loss column.
Yep. 14 games in the loss column. Ripped left field. Curtis on the run is going to make a shoot. Oh, they're going to get a double play. Surhoff. I guess that tells you the story of the Orioles. A base running miscue, and the Yankees get an inning-ending double play, and they get out of this jam by giving up just 1 run. Nice catch by Curtis. Orioles lead at 1-0. Yankees coming to bat when we come back.
How many miles do you drive a day? Whoa, you need a car you can count on. You need a Toyota Corolla. During the Count on Toyota sales event, you can lease a Corolla for just $159 a month. Lease Corolla with major options included like automatic transmission, air conditioning, and more. Or buy a Corolla and save with just 1.9% financing for 24 months. Whether you lease or buy, count on your Toyota dealer for big savings. The Count on Toyota sales event is on.
Chris Farley.
What is it?
Matthew Perry.
Indians. Your turn.
I was told you speak English. Well, we seem to be making some progress.
We wish to forget this. Three-covered beast! Almost Heroes. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 29th at a theater near you.
The new Dodge wanted to take the sport utility concept to a higher level. Enter the new Durango. Its best-in-class power, cargo space, seating for up to 8 raise the bar considerably, as do its strongest-in-class frame and its stable, longer, wider stance. Dodge Durango, a higher form of sport utility, from top to bottom. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
At Chase, your company is in good company, like Gourmet Garage, a member of Tom Seaver's Business Hall of Fame. Chase, the right relationship is everything.
First of 3 against the Orioles here at the stadium. New York Yankee baseball brought to you in part by the new Dodge. See your local Dodge dealer today. Well, it's one of those old baseball things that just happen.
Here's Chad Curtis with the catch. Nice running catch. For some reason, B.J. Surhoff maybe didn't know where he was playing or didn't know he had the capabilities of coming up with that play. But he does, and it's an easy double play that gets the Yankees out of the inning. One of those baseball phenomenals.
Baseball phenomenals. Chad Curtis will lead it off. And it seems like every Yankee hitter that steps up there, the average is over 300. Inside for a ball. Mentioned other than the couple series of the Blue Jays, this is the start of a run against the American League East. As a baseball fan, you wish that division rivals played each other a little more. You see what Chad did against the Twins. That's outside 2-0. And a lot of the Orioles people looking at box scores but not seeing the Yankees up closer, saying, how are these guys doing it? You know, nobody's having a Hall of Fame year. Well, here's one of the reasons they're doing it. This guy, Chad Curtis, leading the league in on-base percentage. Scott Brocious picketed at third. Starting pitching, averaging about 7 innings a start. Ooh. In the air to center, just got under it. Brady Anderson's there. Had some hang time, one away.
He got the good wood on it. There was no doubt about that, but he just got underneath it. You saw him flip the bat when he left home plate. That is, well, you're kind of disgusted. You know, he had the good cut right where he likes it, fastball up. And he got underneath it by just a hair. That's about 1/8 of an inch on the bat. The difference between a high fly ball like that that is skied and a ball that is headed far away places. Ooh, I hate it when that happens.
Scott Brocious with that average well over 300. Former teammate of Doug Johns in Oakland takes that pitch on the edge for a strike. Since May 2nd, along with Derek Jeter, they're up at the top of the American League and hitting during the month of May. Off-speed pitch inside the bag and down toward the left field corner. Surhoff will dig it out, and fan interference will give Brocious. Larry Young, the third base umpire, has already signaled it got caught underneath the tarp.
Let's take a look. First of all, a hard smash by Ripken just underneath the sprawling third baseman, and watch the ball roll down in here to the corner and just stop. It looks like a grating of some kind, and it just hangs up in there, and it's going to be a double for Scott Brocious.
Didn't really make any difference if the ball caroms out to Surhoff. Brocious is going to have a double either way, so the Yankees have a one-out base runner and the tying run at second for Joe Girardi. Joe tries to poke it to right field. Foul out of play. Strike one. You look at some of the Yankees' career numbers, and even though Doug Johns has not had a great career, a couple of years under 500 with the Oakland A's, there are not many Yankee hitters in the lineup that have done well against him.
I really don't think 1 for 6 is much of a history. I think you have to have like 20 at-bats before you can get a true reading on what a hitter does against a pitcher.
Oh, dangerous play, and the Yankees are going to benefit. Johns tried an off-balance pickoff throw. And again, Ray Miller sees his team run the bases poorly and throw a ball away.
I think all this has to go into the scouting report of the Yankees. They've been running the bases and stealing a lot, so they're trying to put some plays on to try and, slow them down, and maybe a message in the first game that will hold up for the next 2 of this series. But you got to make the plays. There's pitching coach Mike Flanagan, who had one of the better pickoff moves in his day about 20 years ago, but now an errant throw has a tying run move to third with 1 out.
And now all Joe Girardi has to do is tap a ground ball towards second. They have Palmeiro playing even with the grass at first. Here's a play that Don Zimmer was talking about the other day. See, on the left side there at normal depth, and what Zim was saying, sometimes he would bring that second baseman in and force the hitter to kind of take himself out of his approach and just tapping a ground ball that way. And Girardi does that. Off the shoe to Alomar. They'll get the out at first, but it's a productive out, and the Yankees have tied it.
Well, Girardi's a good contact hitter. He doesn't strike out all that much, and he's always been one of the better Yankees with runners in scoring position. And he hits this ball hard. If Johns doesn't get in the way, this is going to be a base hit back through the middle. It would take an extraordinary play by Alomar to do it, but maybe he would be able to do it. But instead, the run scores. The play goes 1-4-3. So Girardi with a productive out.
Ties the game at 1. Joe Girardi in 5 opportunities, man on third, less than 2 out, has delivered in 4 of them. Knobloch takes strike 1. He joined us a little late. He led off with a walk and was caught trying to steal second. And after that, the Yankees loaded the bases and couldn't push a run across. High, 1-1. Chances are we'll see Doug Johns for maybe another inning or so because of the long period of inactivity, and he hasn't pitched many innings. It's like we are getting a little precipitation here at the stadium.
Kenny, you should be a weatherman.
Outside, 2-1, and then we may see young, hard-throwing right-hander Sidney Ponson. There was some talk of him starting tonight, but Ray Miller likes to bring him in out of the bullpen. Hit well down in the corner. Surhoff looking up. He'll play it off the wall, and Knobloch is going to have a 2-out double.
Well, we're into the second inning. The Yankees have 4 hits. This is that high fastball that Knobloch turns on, gets pretty good wood on. I don't think he quite got all of it, but well enough to drive it 1 hop off the wall. Surhoff's been a busy man out there this inning. Here's contact. You can see the bat's going to come up just slightly to meet the ball and jerk around this way on the follow through, and then the 2-base hit to the corner.
In the dugout, you hitters talk about using some top hand.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Knobloch did there. That single extended Derek Jeter's hitting streak to 14 games, and the average now at 341. Right center. Hit well. Deep near the track. Did Hammonds come up with that ball? Yes, he did. Jeffrey Hammonds with a remarkable catch on a ball hit to deep right center field by Jeter. Another look at it. What a play.
Jeffrey Hammonds, well, former #1 draft pick. The Orioles expecting big things from him, but injuries really slowed him down early in his career, but lately he's been coming on. Shows you his expertise in the outfield, making a nice running catch that into the wall. He might get a bill for the fence there, but certainly a great catch.
Doug Johns will pay for it. Yankees have tied it, but it could have been more for the Yankees as Jeter is robbed of a hit. We head to the top of the third. We're tied at 1.
New York Yankees baseball on MSG. The Yanks are at the stadium to battle the rival Orioles again after New York City Marriott scorecard tomorrow night on MSG.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you still haven't called for your MLB extra innings? What are you waiting for? A free preview? Well, you got it. From Thursday, May 14th to Tuesday, May 19th, you can see up to 38 great matchups on DirecTV Sports. That's almost a full week of Major League action for free. Watch the O's square off with the Yanks in an AL East grudge match. Or catch the Atlanta Braves versus the big bats of the Houston Astros. And be there at Fenway to see the Battle of the Sox as Chicago takes on Boston. See up to 9 games a day. All you have to do is tune in to Channel 302 for the daily sports schedules. Then just kick back and enjoy. But don't forget your remote, because this is too much baseball to contain on just one channel. So where else can you get this much action for free? Only on DirecTV.
Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the mail marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our mail marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Call now and get all this for a 90-day free trial.
The personal post office. Mailing made simple.
Stands inside the foul poles, filling in nicely. Yankee baseball brought to you in part by MCI. Is this a great time or what? This will ask David Wells that question. David Cone to Mike Bordick. In for a strike.
There's a look at Jeffrey Hammonds. One more look at that catch. He's from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. He had to run almost all the way home to make this catch. Tears up the wall here at Yankee Stadium, but an excellent play.
Outside, 1-1.
Here it is, super slow, and you can see Hammonds check the wall and then make the leap at the last second, open up the glove, and what do you know? Super play.
Took a hit away from Derek Jeter. This fouled out of play, and ironically, in 1992, Jeffrey Hammonds was the Orioles' first pick in the draft, the 4th overall, and then 2 picks later, the Yankees selected Derek Jeter, and Hammonds robs the young Yankee shortstop of an extra base hit. So some scouts knew what they were looking at back in 1992 with Hammonds and Jeter.
Scouts are the lifeblood of any organization.
Splitter dropped down and into Bordick, and he flies to left field where Curtis is standing, puts it away. 1 away in the Oriole 3rd.
Mike Bordick's had a pretty good year. 5 home runs out of the 9th slot for the Orioles.
Here's a hitter the Orioles are waiting for to really get started. As you mentioned, his first at bat, the average is up to 130 from what it was 6 games ago. Of course, he missed a lot of time with that, I'll call it a collarbone injury. It was a little different than that, a clavicular injury of some sort.
Sterno.
Yeah.
Sternoclavicular. Clavicular, yeah.
And you see Brady hangs those arms out over the inside part of the plate, so he wears that elbow pad. 2-0.
He also broke a finger in spring training.
No table setters in that Oriole lineup. The lowest number in the majors. 2-1.
It's quite a difference from a couple of years ago when he was on his way to hitting 50 home runs.
Yeah, I got those when I do my rollerblading. That's what he uses it for. He draws a 1-out walk. Speaking of David Wells' perfect game, we understand now in Toronto into the 6th inning. Woody Williams is perfect through 5 against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. No surprise to hear that Mark McGwire has gone deep twice more tonight.
Is that 19 now?
Jeffrey Hammonds with a long look at third base coach Sam Perlazzo as Anderson takes his lead. Modest lead. Anderson back in time.
Well, they talk about McGwire and the record of Roger Maris. And it seems like everybody gets off to a good start is well ahead of Roger Maris's pace, but he really caught fire towards the end of May.
Ball 1.
I'm sure that there are several hitters as we look at Sam Perlazzo, the third base coach, going through the signs for Jeffrey Hammonds. I'm sure there are several hitters way ahead of Maris's pace. It's just a matter of keeping up as the season goes along.
See Hammonds looking at Perlazo for the signs. David Cone, not the ideal pitcher to hit and run against. He's more of a strikeout pitcher, and you're not always sure that ball's going to be in the strike zone. Late on the fastball, and it's 1-1. Former third base coach of the Mets, also worked under ex-Yankee Lou Piniella, and the veteran Sam Perlazo.
Al Troutwig just informed me that the year that Roger Maris hit the 1961, on May 17th, it was a Sunday, he hit his 4th home run of the year.
The reason Al came down to mention that, he was probably there. Probably there at that game. No, he wasn't there.
Later on that year, I was at Yankee Stadium and saw Roger hit his 47th.
Anderson on the run. Pitches high. Girardi's throw is just a little late. Jeter thought they had him. Ted Henry with a very quick call at second base.
It looked like Anderson got a pretty good jump. He's off and running. Brady looking for his 5th steal of the year. Watch the hands. Watch the hands. To me, it looked like he got in there. Let's take another look. Jeter with the quick tag. Watch him get the glove down real quick. It looked like he got him on the back of the hand, just above the wrist, and that hand got in there. So a close play, but Anderson is in there safely.
Ted Henry was right on the play in perfect position, but we had the benefit of that slow motion replay. I mean, that was bang, bang, but the second look did indicate that he may have had him.
Well, let's try it again, see if we see anything from this angle. Watch the left hand. That's the one that's going to be declared safe as Anderson reaches. Well, that is super slow mo.
That's too close to say Ted Henry blew a call. I mean, that is so close. And a great shot by our crack camera crew. Foul out of play, and the count is full to Hammonds. Brady Anderson picks up his 5th stolen base of the year.
The thing about Hammonds that as we look at it frozen frame, this is a little harder to tell. Yeah, it's
just a little space right there.
Hammonds has excellent bat speed. I think that's what sold the Orioles on him to draft him out of Stanford University. But he had so many injuries, knee injuries, neck injuries. It really plagued his development as a young player.
Ground foul. He is just 27, and the injuries you mentioned, you look for him to almost have a breakthrough year like Derek Jeter. He's got that kind of potential to hit 300, to hit some home runs, steal bases.
A lot more relaxed this year. He's been signed to a 3-year extension. So the Orioles showing faith in him. He hit 21 homers last year in only 118 games.
Low, and he draws a walk. David Cone, who only threw 4 pitches in the first inning, just breezed through that. Gave up a run in the second, and now he's in a little difficulty here again in the third with 2 men on, and the heart of the Orioles order coming up, Roberto Alomar.
We just mentioned that Hammond's been signed to a 3-year deal. A lot of people think some of the problems with the Orioles are the fact that they have so many potential free agents at the end of this year, including Robbie Alomar, that a lot of players are maybe thinking about themselves. Nice stop.
Good play by Girardi. Sometimes in a free agent year, instead of thinking about hitting a ground ball to advance a runner, you hate to use that expression, put up numbers, but sometimes that's on a player's mind. Nice play there.
Well, the fact is that it can work both ways. I think the Orioles themselves as a ball club felt that with so many guys becoming free agents, a lot of them are going to have great years just to put up attractive numbers and be out there on the free agent market. Well, you know, it also works the other way. You get too many guys thinking about themselves in the clubhouse, you don't have any spark.
Hit well, straightaway center. Bernie Williams on the run is looking up. He's not going to get this one. It's off the wall. Anderson is going to score, and Hammonds is right behind him. He'll be held at third, and the Orioles take a 2-1 lead. You saw in the graphic those career leaders against the Yankees, and this guy was on the top of the list, and that's why.
Well, Sam Perlazo got very busy over at third base as we watch the swing by Alomar. Pitch is going to be up in the zone. Oh, right there, and kind of centered. This didn't miss by much at going out of the ballpark. Bernie Williams plays it well off the wall. Now watch Anderson. Right behind him, as he comes in to score, you saw a flash of Sam Palazzo throwing up the hands. That was for Jeffrey Hammonds to stop at third.
So now second and third, and here's Palmeiro, first base open, and the Yankees will keep the infield back. Low for a ball. Cohn's choice right here would be first base open, Palmeiro in the batter's box. Baines is a dangerous hitter on deck, but at 39 years old, you might have a better chance at doubling up Baines, but not much of a choice with those two hitters.
Certainly being among the top run producers in baseball.
Just fouls, says Dale Ford. I guess from a pitching standpoint, you look down and you see Palmeiro and Baines, and so your decision is, well, I can eliminate one of them. It increases my chances of getting it out. You don't have to face both of them, and even that pitch was well out of the strike zone. Arabu, who will pitch tomorrow night, talking to Jorge Posada, who caught David Wells' gem on Sunday. And Jorge will probably catch Hideki tomorrow night. Three swinging. Right now, I don't think you have to throw Rafael Palmeiro a strike. He swung at 3-0 in his first at bat. He is eager to swing the bat because there's men in scoring position.
And he too can be a free agent at the end of the year, and there's a lot of speculation in Baltimore he's not coming back.
Hammonds and Alomar, the runners. Oh, got him in the knee. Wow, had him 1 and 2. As sharp as he was in the first inning, his control now a little shaky.
Threw him a tight slider for a strike up and in that Palmeiro swung and missed. He tried to come back with it. You can see the shifting by Joe Girardi to the inner part of the plate, but this one gets away, hits Palmeiro, and the bases are loaded. And David, you can see he's a little disgusted with himself. He's shaking his head.
David's breaking ball, boy, you can see around his eyes. I mean, it's hot out there tonight. It's a little sticky. Almost looks like he's pitching on a warm summer afternoon when you see the perspiration around the eyes. But his breaking ball has that sweep. It broke into Palmeiro. Pitchers that throw the breaking ball that breaks straight down over the plate, they get hitters to commit much easier on that, like Wells, who had it, that have the over-the-top hook. Single and an RBI for the veteran Harold Baines, and he steps in with the bases loaded. Then the Yankees will play the infield at double play depth. Low ball one.
Only Hal McRae has started more games as a designated hitter than Harold Baines.
Hammonds, Alomar, and Palmeiro. Off-speed pitch, 1-1. Looked like the splitter. Woody Williams now perfect through 6 innings up at Skydome. Pretty dangerous in this situation. 12 home runs. Checked in time, 2-1.
Speaking of bases loaded grand slams, Eddie Murray, career 17.
Inside again, and it's 3-1. I would think that's where you got your approach to hitting well with the bases loaded, probably from playing with a hitter like that. And Harold Baines has that same approach. He's going to wait and get his pitch, and Cohn is now missing with his breaking ball, and the hitter's delight right here. 3-1, bases loaded. Big swing, fouled at the plate. Cohn refused to give in, came with another breaking ball.
Good splitter. Harold had a good swing at it. Is another one of the Oriole veterans, the oldest club in the major leagues.
Cal Ripken at 37, waiting on deck. Up the middle into center field. Bernie Williams will play it on a hop as Hammond scores. Alomar being waved home, and he'll score, and the Orioles lead it 4-1. Baines with 3 RBIs in tonight's game.
Well, David Cone got himself into a situation where he had to give Harold Baines a pretty good pitch to hit. 3-2, he got a splitter. Baines had a good swing at it, fouled it off. 3-1, he comes with a fastball, and it's right there to be drilled into center field. Bernie Williams with the throw to the plate. Alomar has excellent speed, and he will score from second base as the throw is just a bit up the first base line. Another look at Harold Baines and his swing, which has produced many RBIs in his career, and he picks up 2 more and 3 on the night.
And here's the veteran Cal Ripken Jr. Reached back for a little extra on that fastball. Strike 1.
I saw Cal play a couple of weeks ago on watching him on television, and since a couple of weeks he's changed his stance again. He held his bat and held it almost straight down over his back before he got ready to swing, and he was using a very high leg kick like Bobby Bonilla does. And he's kind of changed that since then. His bat is up off of his shoulder, more level.
Late again on the fastball,
and he's been known as the man of 1,000 stances.
Of course, Rod Carew did that very successfully. But I think you can see by these swings, and you mentioned the Orioles being the oldest team in the league, from a pitching standpoint, once a guy gets up to that age, unless he cheats on the fastball, I always thought they're a little more vulnerable to that good fastball. Cone has thrown him 2 in this at bat.
I think the danger area for Ripken, and it's been over the years, is down and in.
That's where he likes it. 1-2.
So he can just drop. When he gets up to the plate, you want to stay away from the middle of the plate in and about this high. Let's say this high. Right in that area. You want to stay away from there.
Just missed. Just missed, said Drew Coble. That's the old, as long as Abner invented the game. High and tight, low and away. Ripken's not done well against David Cone.
Playing in consecutive game 2,525.
Late again, and it's count still level at 2-2. Darren Holmes begins to loosen in the Yankee pen. David Cone had talked about earlier this year, because he's out there for about 100 pitches, to try to be a little more economical like he was in the first inning, but he has been successful kind of grinding it out like he is here. A lot of deep counts, a lot of breaking balls. Tapped out, and Girardi will field it in fair territory. Throw to Martinez in time. 2 down, and the runners, Palmeiro and Baines, advance on the play.
Here's a look, and as Rip will run by this ball, you know he's hoping that it goes foul, but Girardi's quickly out from behind home plate, pounces on it, and then makes the accurate throw to Tino Martinez.
I think this discussion right now between Joe Girardi and David Cone, you really see how hot and humid it is B.J. Surhoff in the batter's box, Chris Hoyles on deck. Want to walk this guy? Go after Hoyles, which would be the logical play. And that's what the Yankees will do. And while he walks him, we'll update you at Skydome. Woody Williams fell behind Wade Boggs 3-0, came back to get him out. So through 6 1/3 innings, he is perfect. Wouldn't that be something?
Wow.
So history in the making up at Skydome. I think it was back in the 60s when Bob Gibson and Gaylord Perry pitched no-hitters on consecutive days. Gibson for the Cardinals, obviously, and Gaylord for the Giants, or maybe a couple of days apart.
Wasn't there Ray Washburn and Mike McCormick of the Cardinals and the Giants?
Yeah.
I don't know which one went first, but one pitched a no-hitter against the other club, and the other one came back the next day and pitched a no-hitter against the other one.
So we might see the same thing in 1998 if Woody Williams continues to pitch well. Here's Hoyles with the bases loaded, and a big moment in the ball game for the Yankees. They trail by 3. Orioles with a chance to blow it open. Fastball, strike 1.
Hoyles hit the ball hard his first time, hit that line drive that was hauled in by Chad Curtis in left field, turned it into a double play that ended the second inning when B.J. Surhoff strayed too far off of second. But he did hit the ball hard.
Another one, strike 2. Still the best pitch in the game. Wells proved that on Sunday. You use your fastball to get ahead and set up the breaking ball. That's what Cone is doing here.
First one was up. Next one up a little more. Let's see where he throws his third fastball.
Low and outside, 1-2.
I think that was just, of course, a teasing type pitch down. The first 2 were swung through and missed up. Let's see if they go back upstairs again.
Shakes off the first sign. Got what he wanted through the splitter, and Hoyles is down on strikes. So the Orioles pick up 3, but they leave 3. Cone keeps the Yankees in the ball game. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Orioles on top, 4-1.
The guy at the dealership said it has one of the most technically advanced automatic 4-wheel drive systems in the world. Now, where I live, it doesn't rain too often. And it snows, well, like never. But should something really weird happen and my neighborhood gets covered with ice, you'll want to be driving with me.
Congratulations. The inaugural run of the Oven Guard 2000.
There's a better way to deliver oven fresh pizza. The new Domino's Heat Wave, the only delivery bag that's like a portable oven for the best tasting Domino's ever. Domino's, delivering to millions miles a day. Get any 2 medium pizzas with all your favorite toppings for just $13.99. That's right, 2 medium pizzas. Choose any crust, any toppings. Call Domino's now.
The ultimate Derek Jeter dream date. First, you call a girl. Tell her that you're preparing a perfect candlelight dinner for her. I throw in some R&B. I can't cook, so order some food. Tell them to give me the works and put it on my Discover card. Splash on a little cologne, throw on your apron. The Discover card cashback bonus is the icing on the cake. What else would she want to do but to watch highlights of us winning the World Series in 1996?
It pays to Discover. To apply, call 1-800-IT-PAYS-TO. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
Damage, the first digital camera with a move and zoom lens. A 3-foot cable shoots over the crowd's head, behind your back. Shoot up a storm, then download only the best in the PC. Yes, Damage V, the digital camera with a fast, great detachable lens, only from the mind of the noser.
New York Yankee baseball is brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza, delivering 1 million smiles a day. And there's some of those smiles, Yankee fans. Young ones.
I wonder if they all came in the same camp, like those guys who don't wear the shirts.
Might be the Derek Jeter fan club. Update you up at Skydome. Woody Williams has lost the perfect game, but he still has the no-hitter through 7 innings. Paul O'Neill, single in his first at-bat, steps in. Up the middle, Alomar ranging to his right with a nice play on that backhand. The footwork there, just played it perfectly. Knew he had time to throw O'Neill out and gets it.
To begin with, he's playing up the middle, goes to the backhand, see him tap the glove, get that glove set, then the footwork, a little pirouette, little throw, and he's got him in time. Knows he has plenty of time, just has to get rid of it quickly. Doesn't even bother to plant. Loops it over to first and gets O'Neill by a couple of steps. Like I said, he had his string broken last year, had 6 consecutive gold gloves at second base. Chuck Knobloch won it last year.
Bernie Williams reached on a fielder's choice. Takes low for a ball.
Yeah, if you're the Orioles and you're thinking you've lost 5 in a row, really been struggling. Mike Mussini, your ace, is scheduled to pitch this game. He's out, put on the disabled list yesterday. And you have to go to Doug Johns to try and beat a ball club that has just been sailing along. You got to figure the odds are in the Yankees' favor tonight, but the Orioles are the ones leading the game 4-1.
2-0 now to Bernie. Chased a borderline pitch there and fouled it out of play. This is one of those games, Kenny, where I know Joe Torre is keeping such an even keel because the ball club's been playing well, but inside he's saying that first inning. That first inning had him on the ropes, gave the Orioles a little hope, and they have capitalized on it. Off-speed pitch high, and it's 3-1.
Always felt too that when you're facing a ball club that has been struggling and they come in, whether they've lost a 5, 6, whatever in a row, but they come into a new series, it's a change of scenery and a chance for a new beginning, if you will.
Eric Davis will be the designated hitter, probably in one of the 3 games here. Bernie draws a 1-out walk. I think the Orioles so happy, as you mentioned, to get away from Camden Yards, being swept at home by Tampa Bay. And Ray Miller had mentioned he hoped that coming to New York would motivate this team.
Yeah, coming to a place where you're hated by everyone.
Right. Tino Martinez takes strike 1.
Well, I'll take exception to what he had to say, because years ago I came in here with the Orioles and I knew my mom and dad were here, so that was at least 2 people.
He had 2 people cheering for him. He has remained very calm during it all. Ray Miller, as we showed you on our quote book, he's willing to take all of the blame for the Orioles slide that they've been in. Their bullpen, the earned run average, more than double what it was last year at this time. Last year they were several games ahead of the Yankees. Curveball. Tino got under it. Right field. Hammonds is there, and he's got plenty of room. And that's the second out of the Yankee third.
I think that's very admirable of Ray Miller to take that posture, if you will, and take the heat for the club. Not because I'll tell you, I guarantee you, 20 years ago, if this Earl Weaver was managing this team, it wouldn't be his fault.
So Doug Johns is 1 out away from setting the Yankees down through the first 3 innings with just 1 run. We mentioned that's about all the Orioles are looking for from Johns, is a few innings. Bernie back in time. Al Trautwig will join Kenny in the top of the 4th. And the pitchers have set the tone for this one, just the opposite of what Wells and Hawkins did on Sunday. With a very slow, deliberate pace, a lot of deep counts. Williams is off-speed pitch, and Hoyles throws going into center field. No chance to get him anyway, and that gives the Yankees an extra base and puts Bernie Williams at third with 2 out.
Well, that's going to break a streak for Chris Hoyles. He had gone 116 consecutive errorless games behind home plate. His last error was September 11th of '96. As he throws this one into center field, Bernie Williams guessed right. Got an off-speed pitch. There's no way he was going to throw him out. Might as well held on to the ball. Instead, that's going to be his first error in 116 games. Alomar, elevators going up, but didn't stop at the top floor. Couldn't get it.
Strike 1 to Raines with Bernie at third. Another off-speed pitch, and it's in for a strike. 0-2. Hoyles just 9 of 40 in throwing out attempted base stealers this year. I guess that's why some Oriole fans would like to see them pursue Mike Piazza. That's high and away. But I guess with the payroll where it's at right now, there's not too much more room for a high-priced player like Piazza.
Yeah, but what they could do, Kitty, is the fact that they could get Piazza. There's going to be 13 free agents, so they're going to have some money to work with after some of these guys leave.
It's like some Oriole. Wow. Oriole colors, but Yankee jersey and cap.
Camouflage.
Raines. Did he check? Waiting for the call from Dale Ford, but Coble makes it himself. So Doug Johns strikes out Tim Raines to end the third. We head to the top of the fourth. Al Troutway again after our commercial break. Orioles lead at 4-1.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you still haven't called for your MLB extra innings? What are you waiting for? A free preview? Well, you got it. From Thursday, May 14th to Tuesday, May 19th, you can see up to 38 great matchups on DirecTV Sports. That's almost a full week of Major League action for free. Watch the O's square off with the Yanks in an AL East grudge match. Or catch the Atlanta Braves versus the big bats of the Houston Astros. And be there at Fenway to see the Battle of the Sox as Chicago takes on Boston. See up to 9 games a day. All you have to do is tune in to Channel 302 for the daily sports schedules. Then just kick back and enjoy. But don't forget your remote, because this is too much baseball to contain on just one channel. So where else can you get this much action for free? Only on DirecTV.
Before. So call now for ESPN the magazine. You'll get a special deal, 26 issues, a whole year's worth, for just $1 an issue. $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And you'll get this great freebie, ESPN the magazine t-shirt, 100% cotton with the world famous ESPN the magazine bullseye logo. ESPN the magazine. Sometimes you have to read hurt.
Call 1-800-498-9889.
Orioles lead the Yankees 4-1 here at the stadium. Little spritz of rain earlier. Al Troutwig along with Ken Singleton. What's so funny?
What is it?
Spritz.
Yeah.
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 You never heard that?
Yeah, certainly. I'm from New York. I've heard that.
It was a brief spritz. Yeah. It's the fourth inning, and we'll see if David Cone can solve his woes. Line shot past Brocious down the line. Well, he didn't solve him that time. Be another extra base hit for the Baltimore Orioles. Mike Bordick starts the O's off on a bright note here with nobody out.
Now Bordick's 9 for his last 18, so he's one of the few Orioles had a good homestand. He was 8 for 16 on the stand, 1 for 2 tonight after this shot that somehow eludes Scott Brocious. That hasn't happened very often this year.
I was going to say, anytime it gets past Brocious in any way these days, it gets your attention. So Bordick, the 9th hitter, gets on, and now David Cone will have to solve this inning by beginning where the game started, with Brady Anderson, who has grounded out, walked, stolen a base, and scored a run. I mean, you look back on it, and it's a living baseball cliche, because you say it all the time. When you have that first inning opportunity and you miss it, seems long gone by the time you're in the third or fourth inning. It's amazing how often that happens.
Well, you give the other team a chance to right themselves. The pitcher, feels like he dodged the big bullet on the night, and he can go out and pitch his ball game.
Cohen misses with a breaking ball inside.
Brady Anderson was a free agent at the end of last year, eventually re-signed with the Orioles for 5 years.
Under that baseball uniform, he's got a chiseled body filled with muscle. Out to Paul O'Neill, not enough muscle on that one. Bordick's going to take third on the tag and throw.
It's a good base running by Bordick. He made one false step towards third when the ball was hit, realized it might hang up, took a look back, went back to tag at second, and got over to third with 1 out.
Is it good base running, or is it really just basic fundamental base running?
Well, with nobody out, on a long fly ball, you should tag up and try and get to third. See, he took a few false steps, realized he had to get back, tags up, and heads for third. Good base running by Mike Bordick. You have to when you're at second, you look around to the outfielder to see where they're playing. So it gives you an idea when the ball is hit, if the ball is going to carry to the outfielders. And he started, realized the ball might carry to Paul O'Neill, got back to second, tagged and moved to third.
Fouled back with the infield in on the edge of the grass to try and cut down the run. The hitter's Jeffrey Hammonds, who swings at strike one. Hammonds 0 for 2. He's flied to left, walked, and scored a run, so he's really 0 for 1. Officially, the 0-1 pitch. Had Jeffrey Hammonds not made that running catch earlier in the game on Derek Jeter, this would be a vastly different scenario. But he climbed the wall and pulled it down. And there you see the quick repair job that's been done.
And matching tape, too. I like that. Yeah.
These guys, Bob Wilkinson, Dan Cunningham, they're prepared and squared away. I remember the first time I saw Jeffrey Hammonds hit, Ken. I was getting ready to do a post game in Baltimore, and I believe he was a late inning pinch hitter, if not a pinch hitter in the 9th inning. And just the way he walked to the plate, the way he swung the bat, the way he looked in the uniform, he just said, future star to me. I mean, he just had that sort of aura about him. Late swing, 2-2.
Well, the Orioles are hoping the same thing. As I said, they signed him to a 3-year extension. And for him, I guess it's more of a calming influence. He feels that the team now has confidence in him after all the injuries he's had, and maybe they're all behind him.
The 2-2 with the runner on third. And David Cohn's going to flirt with another potential problem. The count goes full. Robbie Alomar's on deck. The Orioles have lost 5 in a row and were swept at home by Tampa Bay. 4 straight games. Line drive. Chad Curtis coming on and makes a great leaning catch. The long throw is high over Girardi's head. The run comes across. I tell you what, when Chad Curtis makes a throw from the outfield, his entire body is into it. He goes flying. He actually had too much into that one, and it's a 5-1 ball game.
It's a sacrifice line drive rather than a sacrifice fly. Makes a nice running catch, and then has to follow through on the throw. You saw the leap. The throw is high over the head of Girardi, and Bordick will score from third base. Girardi getting rid of the mass, awaiting the throw to the plate, and you can see he has to go up and get it. And Bordick slides in underneath with the Orioles' 5th run.
So now it's Robbie Alomar who's grounded out, doubled, and driven in a run. Let's check it out. This is how we recorded it live, and he was on there when Curtis made the catch.
Of course, that is not always the case. The same thing happened in Kansas City with Mike Sweeney. He was on the bag, but he was called out on the appeal. The Yankees tried it again. Didn't work tonight.
Alomar hitting .292. He's almost trying to be greedy. He bunts it in front of the plate, picked up by Girardi to Martinez. But another inning with some damage. David Cohn put up a perfect first, but after that it's been rough going. 5-1 Baltimore as we go to the bottom of the 4th on MSG.
The most award-winning brand of 4x4s has done it again. Presenting Jeep Grand Cherokee, just named Best Sport Utility. And now you can lease the leader with a special $319 a month leadership lease or get 1.9% financing. Grand Cherokee, highest in owner loyalty, and now named Best Sport Utility. No wonder year after year, Grand Cherokee always winds up on top. Check out this $319 lease at your dealer.
A deferred annuity, fixed or variable. Your shares may be worth more or less than their original cost.
A mutual fund that delivers superior risk-adjusted returns.
You're close to a golden retirement through strategic asset.
Gee, retirement planning is so complicated.
It doesn't have to be. MetLife has lots of products like mutual funds, annuities, and 401k plans. And the Met Rep can help you make sense of it all.
Cool.
Get Met. It pays.
On a warm summer-like evening, Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by Guinness, the perfect pint. A look south from the Bronx, Empire State Building illuminated in red, white, and blue, and I assume that's because we're headed to Memorial Day weekend. David Cone obviously can't be happy. It's been a rough week for him emotionally, going through his mother's surgery, which came out fine, and having to refocus himself, but not his best stuff, to say the least. He's been tagged for 5 runs, 6 hits.
And it's certainly not the best location that he's had the last few starts.
I would think he's headed to the clubhouse to cool off, get a drink.
There's nobody warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
So Chad Curtis will start things off against Doug Johns. The Yankees had him on the ropes, but he absorbed the punches and survived. And here he is pitching into the 4th inning, which, according to the Orioles, wasn't necessarily the plan. A leadoff single on the first swing by Chad Curtis. The Yankees attempt to mount a comeback.
Ray Miller and Mike Flanagan look on. Ray Miller was the pitching coach with the Orioles, and Flanagan won the Cy Young Award in '79.
Yankees starting this 3-game series. A look at the Delta Airlines schedule. Tomorrow we'll do it again on MSG, the Yankees and the Orioles. Then the WV11 picks it up for Thursday, Friday when it switches to Fenway, and Saturday. We're back with you for the series finale, Yankees and Red Sox, and boy, in Boston, that'll be a good series. Curtis is on for Scott Brocious, who just keeps on slugging away. His 11th double of the season came in his first at bat, the batting average at .323. Well, Kenny, you and Jim Cott have been talking about the failings of the Baltimore Orioles for all their money spent, the highest paid team in baseball. I was shocked. I had one of the Orioles tell me today that the team is just a bunch of blank, meaning they're soft. He said last year we played hard. This year we don't ever play hard. We've got 13 free agents and all they do is think of themselves. Bounding ball could be 2. Brocious on the run. He beats the throw. Well, those are the little things.
Ball was not hit very hard. It's going to be very difficult to turn 2. You can see Bordick with the shovel pass to Alomar. He backs the other way, back towards right field, makes the throw, and not in time to get Brocious going to first base. This is a tough play to turn 2 on. They tried but couldn't get it. Brocious just too quick down the line. You mentioned, yeah, that's true about the 13 free agents, and Jim Cott and I were talking about them possibly getting Mike Piazza, but you have to satisfy the Florida Marlins on the other end, and the farm system of the Orioles is relatively bare. They don't have many prospects. The best prospect is Ryan Miner, a big third baseman. Used to play basketball at University of Oklahoma. And one of the scenarios is that Rafael Palmeiro will just move on next year. Cal Ripken will move to first base, and Miner will take over at third.
The hitter for the Yankees is Joe Girardi. Joe 3 for his last 13. It's a little under 250. Grounded to second, but drove in a run in the process on the season at 210. Joe took a lot of extra batting practice today. Actually was in the cage with Chris Chambliss, the Yankee hitting coach. Joe said when you don't play every day, it's so hard to get in a groove and stay in a groove, so I've got to create my own game situations. 5-1 Baltimore. Hoyle's blocked, but on the play, Brocious advances. No hesitation, quick reaction, very alert.
Good reaction on the bases. As soon as this ball was not handled cleanly by Chris Hoyles, Brocious is off and moving, and he gets himself in the scoring position.
You got to give some credit, as Ray Miller sits next to Mike Flanagan, to Jose Cardinal on a play like that. I don't know if Jose was involved, but you got to figure he was verbally, to give Brocious the reassurance to go. So the Yankees with a runner in scoring position, down 4. The 2-0 pitch, line drive, center field. Willie gives the green light to Brocious. The throw from center is in time. He's out. It looked like the sure thing to do. But Brady Anderson had a full head of steam.
Good charge, good overhand throw. The ball will carry one hop. In fact, watch Hoyles have to back up and then retrace his steps to make the tag. And he gets Brocious at the plate. A look at the throw once again. And then watch where Hoyles makes the tag. Does he actually come up and get him?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's out. It looked like Brocious decided to go for the catcher instead of the plate. So good throw by Brady Anderson, cuts down a runner. And to me, when you're down by a bunch of runs, you got to be sure that the run is going to score. So there's no shame in having first and third and one out.
One of the highlights of the Yankees season has been success and good fortune on the base paths. Not the most elegant of moments for Brocious on the finish of the play.
I think he's just trying to knock the ball out of Hoyles' hand, but Hoyles had plenty of time to set himself. In fact, gained some momentum coming into the runner. See that?
Yeah.
And he holds on and makes the tag.
And here tonight, no good fortune on the base paths for the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch caught stealing earlier in the ball game. That completely changed the first inning in which the Yankees left the bases loaded.
I mean, at this point, you're trying to pick them up one at a time. To me, I think you have to be sure that the runner can score standing up when you're down by 4 runs.
Well, it took a great throw, and the Orioles got a great throw. The pitch to Knobloch is in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Girardi advanced to second on the throw.
See, but Willie Randolph's thinking it had to take a perfect throw to get him. And it was pretty much a pretty perfect throw right over home plate.
Nice big fat bounce.
Yeah.
Knobloch skies one down the left field line, headed toward the seats. Bordick moving over, says I've got it, and is true to his word. The Yankees lose a man in scoring position. Brocious thrown out at the plate. It's not going according to plan. 5-1 Baltimore. 4 complete.
I was born under a wandering star. Wheels are made for rolling, mules are made to pack.
Now, for limited time, get a 98 Trooper for $299 per month for 48 months with 1943 due at lease signing. Or receive $1,000 cash back with purchase during the Isuzu Go Farther Getaway event. Offer ends May 31st.
The world is at your fingertips, and so is Globe Motor Car. World-class styling just around the corner. Come in and experience the all-new Globe Motor Car with our newly expanded showroom, sales, and service center. Let us work with you to find the best deals now. Whatever your style, when it comes to Mercedes, Globe Motor Car makes a world of difference. Located just 3 miles west of Willowbrook Mall, 1230 Bloomfield Avenue, Fairfield, 227-3600.
Yoo-Hoo is proud to return as a sponsor of the New York Yankees in 1998. Yoo-Hoo, America's #1 chocolate drink. The Yankees and Yoo-Hoo, 75 years of the best of New York.
What's Ansky?
What?
What the hell is Ansky?
Oh, this. I didn't do good at all.
Slide back. Oh, what is that? There you go. Nice, right? Yanks. Yanks.
Yanks! Let's go! All right!
The 5th inning of Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by the full line of vehicles from Mitsubishi, built for living. Al Troutwig back on MSG, now rejoined by Jim Cott. Ken Singleton returns next inning. David Cohn against Rafael Palmeiro. Brady Anderson getting some high fists for that huge throw from center field that got Scott Brocious at home plate. The 1-0 to Palmeiro, and he swings through. Boy, is he aggressive at the plate tonight, or what?
Yeah, he is. Well, he's one of the players that the Orioles, you know, he's freewheeling on everything. As he wants to get as many home runs, RBIs as he can, and he's anything close, he's hacking it. I think that's what happens when you're when you're in a funk like the Orioles are, is as a hitter, you want to come out of it all by yourself. You know, you want to be the man to hit a grand slam homer with nobody on base.
I haven't heard any big explosions from Peter Angelos, but can you imagine if George Steinbrenner was getting this kind of effort and result?
Yeah. Well, the signs at Camden Yards, one of "Where's Davy?"
Yeah.
Davy Johnson.
The 2-2 to Rafael Palmeiro. Fouled off.
Going back to last inning, Al, I know Willie Randolph is a very aggressive third base coach, as Don Zimmer was. That's probably one that Willie would like to take back, because well, the Yankees have given the Orioles a couple of extra opportunities to hold this lead. They've had a lot of base runners, and they had the top of the order coming up. Granted, I think a little better slide by Brocious. He still would have been safe.
Struck him out. Only the second of the ball game for David Cohn, but that's a much better way for him to start this 5th inning.
Girardi sets up on the inside, and it looked like a splitter that Palmeiro swung over. Yeah, he hasn't taken many close pitches.
No. And now Cohn will deal with the man for the Baltimore Orioles tonight, the DH Harold Baines. 2 hits and 3 runs driven in. Breaking ball, ground ball. Tino's got it. Cohn hustles over and steps on the bag. A lot of ground cover there by Tino Martinez.
Yeah, that's a nice play, and as a pitcher, you love that. You love a first baseman to play the ball. So often you ball like that, the first baseman runs to the bag and it sneaks into right field. But it's a play that teams work on all spring. Ball hit to the first baseman. Pitchers cover first. Martinez and Cohn do it perfectly.
And now Cal Ripken Jr. On the recent homestand, Cal had 22 at-bats and got only 2 hits. 0-91. And it was long the rumor that Ray Miller told Peter Angelos that one of the things he would do was that he would finally sit Cal Ripken Jr. down and end this thing so the team could move on. And if ever there was a reason to do it, that homestand was it. Still didn't do it. One ball and 1 strike.
It's long been accepted by people around Baltimore in baseball and the fans. This is Cal's team, and he's probably going to sit down when he wants to and not when anybody else wants him to.
Fouled off. Now this is Cal's team, as you say, and yet the same Oriole that I talked to about all the problems in the clubhouse and how the team has no fight also said the team has no leader.
Right.
We know who it should be, but it's not even close.
He's not that kind of personality. You see Sidney Ponson loosening up in the bullpen because Doug Johns has not pitched beyond 4 innings all year.
The 1-2 to Ripken. So now, I mean, like a Don Mattingly didn't do it verbally. He did it by example, and he was the leader of this team. How could Cal Ripken Jr. not be the leader of this team?
I think Donnie Ballgame played with a little more verve, you know, a little more fire. Cal is a laid-back guy. Kenny Singleton was talking about when they were teammates. Eddie Murray really was the fire behind the Orioles, and I think inspired Cal to do that. He is not. You're not going to change his personality, and he's not going to do that. He's not going to go around the clubhouse and get in guys' face. Usually every team has 1 or 2 players that will do that.
You either have it or you don't, I guess. And David Cohn rebounds with a very strong inning. 1, 2, 3 with 2 strikeouts. Doug Johns is going to pitch into the 5th. We'll see.
Where can I get Bell Atlantic mobile wireless service? I know I saw a store around here somewhere. Wait a minute. I can go to any Nobody Beats the Wiz location. That's where I can get the best wireless values in New York and New Jersey, like Digital Choice service with the first incoming minute of every local call free. Plus, unlimited night and weekend local airtime is free for 1 year. And I know there's a store right over here.
Bell Atlantic mobile service is now at Nobody Beats the Wiz, a Cablevision company.
We've extended the Nissan Pre-Memorial Day event due to popular demand, which means we've extended our incredible 1.9% APR financing on the quality and craftsmanship of the new Nissan Altima. And we've extended our great leases. See your Nissan retailer now and spend Memorial Day and beyond in your new Nissan Altima. The extended Nissan Pre-Memorial Day event, only through June 1st. Lease the Nissan Altima GXE for $229 a month for 39 months with an initial payment of $999.
you'll find it easy to get to.
But very hard to leave. It's the Mohegan Sun way.
We keep the lines short and the action non-stop. It's the Mohegan Sun way.
Everybody wins at these tables. It's the Mohegan Sun way. We'll make every visit one you'll remember. It's the Mohegan Sun way.
Exit 76 off I-95 in Connecticut. Like no place on earth. Come experience
The Mohegan Sun way.
Nobody does it like you.
To deep clean your carpet and upholstery, you can get a Hoover Steam Vac Ultra and pay once. Or pay these guys
Nobody
every time.
does it like you.
Kitty, Yankees baseball in the bottom of the 5th, brought to you in part by Hoover. Exactly. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. Yankees down 4 here in the Bronx. A little breeze has kicked up, getting a little cooler, but it's been mostly warm, sticky, and a little rain earlier in the ball game, but no stoppage to the ball game itself. Derek Jeter came into this game about as hot as you can be. 7 for his last 13. Starts the game off with a single, and then could have easily had a double or a triple were it not for an outstanding catch by Jeffrey Hammonds. And it just so happens to be our Hoover pickup of the game. Jeter to the opposite field, and Hammonds just climbs the wall and rips it apart. Really something that he could hold on. Jeter skies another one. Boy, did he get wood on this one. Grady Anderson back to the wall, and he pulls it down on one knee. It was just a little too high. Well, you talk about a fly ball becoming a home run by the difference of 1/8 of an inch. This must have been a 32nd of an inch.
You see Derek shaking his head because he's got to supply all the power. Doug Johns is not a power pitcher, and you see Brady get back there, and this will tell you how the ball is hanging up a little bit because it actually came back in front of him. Track a little wet out there. Brady loses his footing.
Had a good sound to it. So off the 2 outfield catches, Jeter 1 for 3. O'Neill comes up swinging away. He's 1 for 2 with a single.
Doug Johns now his season high in innings pitched in the ball game. He had never gone beyond the 4th inning, and the only reason he's out there now is because with O'Neill and Martinez coming up, Ray Miller'd like to see him face the lefties. Sidney Ponson, the righty, has been throwing in the bullpen since last inning.
And this guy was pitching in Italy last year, facing those fearsome Italians.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the game, the Yankees have had some problems with Vaughn Eshelman and Rich Robertson, Jamie Moyer, who is a quality pitcher, but lefties that aren't necessarily hard throwers. Steve Wojciechowski used to be with Oakland.
The 0-2 to O'Neill. It's grabbed by Hoyles. Look at the Toyota box score. The Yankees got it going. Curtis, Brocious, Girardi, Knobloch, Jeter, O'Neill. The top of the order had it going in the 1st inning. The bottom of the order had something going in the 2nd inning, and all they got out of it was 1 run. O'Neill doesn't go near that one, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
If there's ever a game where it's a not in the box score plays, the little things in baseball that determine winning from losing. There's the big right-hander, Sidney Ponson from Aruba. It's the first half of this one. You know, the catch, a slide here, a slide there could be an entirely different ballgame.
That's ball 3, 3-2.
And you can also tell from the weekend series where the umpiring crew was more of a strike calling crew. Every borderline pitch tonight has been a ball.
O'Neill goes for it up the middle past Robbie Alomar. A 3-2 pitch bopped into center field by O'Neill with 1 out. Johns now will face Bernie Williams.
Ray Miller going to allow him to pitch to Bernie Williams with a 4-round lead because Tino's on deck. And he wants Johns to face another left-hander.
Bernie steps in, hitting .310 with 3 home runs, one in David Wells' perfect game, and 19 RBIs. Bernie sends one pretty. No, not too deep at all. I think he cracked his bat on that one. The way it came off the bat, it looked like it could go far, but it came up well short.
You notice most of the fly balls are ones by Jeter, now by Bernie, out in front. See, Johns is not a hard thrower, and he's kind of destroying the Yankees' timing just enough to keep it in the ballpark. That one off the end of the bat.
Well, here's your matchup. Who do you think is going to win it? The New York Marriott Marquee. Look at David Cone and Doug Johns. Johns going 4 2/3, scattering 7 hits, but giving up only 1 earned run. David Cone's been touched for 5. The hitter's Tino Martinez with 1 on. You see that note today that David Wells set the Major League record, American League record when he finished the perfect game, because in his prior start he had retired the last 10. So 37 batters retired in a row by David Wells.
Steve Busby, the outstanding right-hander from Kansas City, had the record, and if he can retire 5 in a row in Boston on Saturday, I guess he'll pitch, he could pass Jim Barr, the ex-San Francisco Giant pitcher.
Scheduled to pitch Saturday at Fenway.
That'll be tough, retiring those first 5 Red Sox. That's
how about the first guy? The 2-0 to Martinez. Swings through it, 2-1. It is amazing what happens in this town when you do something big.
And that guy knows it. He has one of the all-time best winning percentages for a Yankee here at home, even though he's had a rough start tonight.
O'Neill back on the Doug Johns throw. I'm sure, Jim, that 5th run is the one that's really bugging David Cone now. You know, he looks at this team with who they're throwing out on the mound tonight. He thinks, you know, my lineup, they're going to come through. They're going to get runs. But every extra one you add on, it becomes, you know, obviously more difficult. Pops straight back. No play.
Now, the whole tone of this game was set in the first couple of innings. And Joe Torre knows that from as much as he's been around. You catch a club that is really down and you got a chance to stomp on them early and you let it get away, it never fails that they come back, especially with a guy, you know, you match up Johns against David Cone. Who are you going to take? Obviously David Cone.
The 2-2 pitch. Johns goes full to Tino Martinez. Tim Raines is on deck. He grounded out with the bases loaded to end the first inning. Big breaking ball, and Martinez fouls it off.
Right on it. And again, the depth of the Yankee bench come into play. Ray Miller's sitting there saying, should I bring in a fresh pitcher? If Tino Martinez gets on and he brings in a new one, Joe Torre can go to his bench and bring up Darryl Strawberry if he wants to go for one long ball to get back in the game. And he's got a bat in his hand.
The 3-2. Ground ball through the hole. Little 2-out magic for the Yankees possibly. Runners at the corners. And the hitter's going to be Tim Raines.
Remember, Al, last inning had talked about pitchers love first basemen that will go for the ball and not the bag. This is the exact opposite. O'Neill at first gets his jump. You see Palmeiro, he's not even going for the ball. He waits till it goes through and then goes to the bag. See, and there's a Gold Glover from last year. If he goes laterally to his right, he's got an excellent chance to catch that ball and get Tino Martinez at first base.
He never even took a step toward it.
Took immediately committed toward the bag, which...
Why would he have played it that way?
I think just instinct. I know I always made it a point to go to my first baseman, Don Mincher or Harmon Killebrew, And you see Palmeiro's reaction. I think as soon as he broke, he realized he should have gone for the ball. But I always like to go to a first baseman and say, hey, go for the ball. I'll be at the bag. You love to have him try to cut it off. And I think Ray Miller senses that Darryl Strawberry more apt to hit a long ball than Tim Raines, so he's going to go with Johns against Raines instead of bringing in Ponson to face possibly Strawberry.
Mike Flanagan has spoken to Doug Johns. And it's Raines up here and in another good run scoring position. That certainly got the fans back into the ball game. Raines is 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. The block by Hoyles.
Doug Johns in a position right now throwing 71 pitches as the young hard-throwing Ponson gets ready, where it's kind of throw and hope. He hasn't been this deep in a ball game, and he's just trying to throw a couple more of those changeups up there and hope that he can get Raines out in front and maybe hit a pop-up.
Ground ball underneath Ripken. The play at second is capably handled by Bordick and Alomar. The Yankees strand 2, and it's a 5-1 Baltimore lead through 5. Yankees baseball will continue after these words from Bill Daughtry at the sports desk.
Thanks, Al Troutwig. Red Sox and White Sox at Fenway Park. The return of Will Cordero, one of the storylines in Boston. Cordero's team with the big lead in this ball game. Will and Mo Vaughn in a little pregame reunion there. 5th inning, Frank Thomas puts the big hurt on that serve from Saberhagen. 3-run homer, part of a 6-run 5th for the White Sox. They lead the ball game comfortably tonight at Fenway Park. New York Mets, they've got 1 in the books. Game 2 of the doubleheader, going for the sweep. They lead the Reds that ball game 3-1 in the 7th inning. Here's Ray Ordonez up. You see the score there in the background. Ordonez is going to tack on 2 more for the Mets here in the bottom of the 2nd. A 3-base hit to chase home a couple more runs. The New York Mets, they take a 3-0 lead at that point. Score now 3-1 Mets in the 7th inning. We've got more news to tell you about. A little basketball business coming up after this timeout for a commercial message on the MSG Network.
The most award-winning brand of 4x4s has done it again. Presenting Jeep Grand Cherokee, just named Best Sport Utility. And now you can lease the leader with a special $319 a month leadership lease or get 1.9% financing. Grand Cherokee, highest in owner loyalty, and now named Best Sport Utility. No wonder year after year, Grand Cherokee always winds up on top. Check out this $319 lease at your dealer.
With the playoffs, Pacers and Bulls, Game 2 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Bulls looking to go up 2-0, but the Pacers, they've grabbed the lead 41-34 in the 2nd quarter. Game 6, Stanley Cup Western semifinals. Detroit going for the knockout. St. Louis trying to extend. 4-0 Red Wings. That game going to the 3rd period. You join us on Sports Desk after Yankee baseball. We'll have Daily News' Mark Kriegel.
Going to the top of the 6th inning with the Orioles on top, 5-1. Fans catch all the action when the Boston Red Sox come to the stadium for 4 games on Thursday, May 28th and Friday, May 29th, both at 7:30, and Saturday, May 30th at 1 o'clock, and Sunday, May 31st at 1:30. On Sunday the 31st, all fans will receive a Yankee cap, compliments of Dime Savings Bank. Tickets are available at the stadium through Ticketmaster, the Yankee Clubhouse stores, and on the web at www.yankees.com. B.J. Surhoff will lead it off. And the first pitch from David Cohn is in the dirt. Surhoff has doubled and been walked intentionally. Kitty, you mentioned he's born in the Bronx, grew up in Rye, New York, graduated from Rye High School, then off to the University of North Carolina. Swing and a miss, 1-1, where he holds the all-time record for batting average over a career, .392, while playing college ball as a Tar Heel.
Played a lot of right field at University of North Carolina. Ouch, look out.
Tough souvenir for the fans on the right field line.
Speaking of fans, with the Orioles and the Yankees for the first time, the stands are filled in within the foul poles, but not as many as you would anticipate with a series of this magnitude. And 80 degrees.
Division rival.
Yep. Maybe they saw enough on Sunday. They got the Beanie Baby, but
fastball is a broken bat single into center field for Surhoff. And the Orioles have a leadoff man on here in the 6th inning. Surhoff with his second hit. And that'll bring up Chris Hoyles, the catcher. Sitting at an 0 for 2 night, has fly to left and struck out. The Yankees have actually out-hit the Orioles in this game 8-7, but trail by 4. And we talked about it in between innings. The Yankees have squandered some chances.
Certainly have.
Hoyles lays down the bunt. It's going to roll foul.
And you'd say if that happened against Kansas City, you'd say no big deal. But here's a chance to really make a statement to the team that should be your toughest rival. And we mentioned the little things, Kenny. Jeffrey Hammonds makes a great catch, but not in the box score. Look at Knobloch's slide. See, if he slides over to that side of the bag, he's in there easy. And then Brocious, the same thing. All he has to do is slide out around here, and there's no way Hoyles can tag him. So usually as a base runner, you know, you look at the fielder. When you see him commit, you slide the opposite way.
One strike to count on Hoyles with Surhoff at first. And the count will go at 0-2 on the foul ball. Chris Hoyles, a veteran catcher, has been splitting time with Lenny Webster. Webster's been getting some more playing time, and although Lenny's been bothered with a bad elbow. Throw to first. Surhoff is back. Orioles do not steal very often. They are a station-to-station team. Darren Holmes warming up in the Yankee pen. Well, we saw it earlier this year when the Yankees were not hitting home runs. At least they were scoring runs. Ground ball to Brocious at third. Could be 2. The Knobloch for 1. On the first, there's a double play. 5-4-3 on the double play. So Knobloch, the middleman, as the Yankees now have 2 outs and nobody on.
Not what you anticipate from David Cone. He's usually a strikeout fly ball pitcher, but he got this to break down and in to Hoyles and hit it to the sure-handed Brocious. All he has to do is make an accurate throw to Knobloch, and they'll have Hoyles easily.
2 outs, and here's the 9th hitter, Mike Bordick. The pitch goes all the way back to the screen. Ball 1.
That was David Cone's 100th pitch, and the Yankees monitor his total rather closely since all of the arm injuries. You would expect this might be his last inning.
Good breaking ball to the corner. Levels the count at a ball and a strike. Mentioned the Yankees early in the year when they weren't really hitting the home runs. They've come on a bit with the power lately, but they were stealing bases, getting runners in scoring position. Every time they got a hit, somebody would score. Another strike to Bordick. And that's one of the differences between the Orioles and the Yankees. More of a multifaceted offense for New York. Drop down, and a breaking ball is pulled foul.
I think there was a book out. It probably still comes out every year, the Total Baseball or something like that. That talks about hitters advancing base runners and pitchers allowing bases. That's, of all the numbers we have, that might be one of the more important ones. How many bases do you allow, and how many base runners do you advance?
1 ball and 2 strikes. Splitter knocked down by Joe Girardi. That will level the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think one thing that's been off for David Cone tonight is command of his pitches. He has not been able to ride the fringes of the strike zone as he has been lately in his previous starts.
Wow.
Full count. Sidney Ponson warming up in the Orioles bullpen.
And Cone and Girardi thought they had strike 3 there.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. But David Cone picks up his 3rd strikeout, and we played 6. Make that 5.5 innings here at the stadium. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, the Orioles lead 5-1.
What's Ansky? What? What the hell is Ansky? Oh, wow, this I didn't do good at all. Slide back.
Hey, what is that? There you go.
Nice, right?
Yanks.
Yanks.
Yanks! Oh. Let's go! All right.
Science cannot explain him.
We're looking at the dawn of a new species.
Technology cannot stop him.
The heat seekers can't lock, sir.
But unless we outthink him,
We believe it may be hiding inside one of the buildings,
But you don't know for sure.
we won't survive him.
We need bigger guns.
Rated PG-13 opens everywhere tomorrow.
The guy at the dealership said it has one of the most technically advanced automatic four-wheel drive systems in the world. Now, where I live, it doesn't rain too often. And it snows, well, like never. But should something really weird happen and my neighborhood gets covered with ice, you'll want to be driving with me.
No, you gotta go to Moe's. Check out Modell's all-star lineup of officially licensed teamwear.
Gotta go to Moe's.
New pitcher warming up for the Orioles as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And for you fight fans out there, on Saturday, June 6th, the heavyweight championship of the world returns to Madison Square Garden. The real deal, Evander Holyfield, is set to defend his heavyweight title against 6'7" giant Henry Akinwande. That's at the Mecca. Holyfield joins Ali, Frazier, Lewis, Dempsey, and Holmes as the only heavyweight champs to defend their title at the Garden. Tickets for the June 6th heavyweight championship of the world, that's Holyfield against Akinwande, are on sale now at the Garden box office and all Ticketmaster locations. D-Day at the Garden. Mel Stottlemyre and David Cone talking it over as David Cone ended the top half of the 6th inning.
Pretty dejected David Cone. I think it's kind of tough to pitch after a guy pitches a perfect game, and chances are Cone might have been trying a little too hard. You mentioned you did not have good command of the breaking ball. I don't know if Mel and David Cone are discussing right now his night's work or whether Mel's already told him that his night is over. With these days off, all the starters been getting an extra day of rest.
21-year-old Sidney Ponceau from Aruba. And there's a curveball, and he starts out Chad Curtis and misses for ball 1.
And now in the dugout, I guess you say dial it up a notch, huh, boys? Because Doug John's throwing a lot of off-speed stuff, and this kid gets it up there pretty good. Just 21 years old.
There's a look at that high fastball, and good cut by Curtis, and fouls it back.
Now making the call to the bullpen.
Call strike to the corner, 1-2. Ponceau, 6'1", listed at 220. Has had to battle weight problems from earlier in his minor league career. But as you can see, he has a pretty good arm. And nowadays, a good arm will get to the big leagues in a hurry. Curveball is swung on and missed, strike 3. So he strikes out the first man he faces.
One of the things the Orioles like about him, he was rated their #1 prospect last year. See, even though that curveball is up in the strike zone, it's got a pretty good break to it, is his aggressive nature. He'll throw a lot of strikes. He won't be nibbling on purpose. He'll run it right down there and make you hit it.
He's appearing in his 8th game as Brocious comes to the plate. 6 of them have been in relief. Fastball in the 90s, and he misses ball 1. Darren Holmes continues to warm up for the Yankees. He should be next out of the pen. David Cohn can only hope that his teammates come through as the ball is hit in the air to right center field by Brocious. Brady Anderson ranges back just in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. 2 down.
Yankees are probably saying we're playing this game in the wrong ballpark. If you play in this game in Camden Yards, they got about 3 or 4 home runs by now, but they're hitting it to the deepest parts of Yankee Stadium. There you see the golden bat making it appear that the ball might be carrying out, but it is not. The wind is holding it in just enough.
Ball 1 to Girardi. It was grounded out to drive in a run and also had a base hit. Drove in the lone Yankee run in the 2nd inning. Broken back grounder right back to the mound. It's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Sidney Ponson as he retires the Yankees in order here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Darren Holmes getting ready to come in out of the bullpen. The Yankees trail by 4.
Okay, tune into Bob's for men's, women's, and kids' Levi's jeans. 501, 505, 550. Bob's, the only place for Levi's.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you still haven't called for your MLB extra innings? What are you waiting for? A free preview? Well, you got it. From Thursday, May 14th to Tuesday, May 19th, you can see up to 38 great matchups on DirecTV Sports. That's almost a full week of Major League action for free. Watch the O's square off with the Yanks in an AL East grudge match. Or catch the Atlanta Braves versus the big bats of the Houston Astros. And be there at Fenway to see the Battle of the Sox as Chicago takes on Boston. See up to 9 games a day. All you have to do is tune in to Channel 302 for the daily sports schedules. Then just kick back and enjoy. But don't forget your remote, because this is too much baseball to contain on just one channel. So where else can you get this much action for free? Only on DirecTV.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
David Wells is down to 1 more out. O'Neill appears to have room. He puts it away, and David Wells has pitched a perfect game.
Warm night here in the Bronx. The Baltimore Orioles leading 5-1, and it's time for our Aflac trivia quiz. Who is the only man to both pitch and catch in the same game two times?
Wow.
Pitch and catch in the same game.
Now, guys like Bert Campaneris and my ex-teammate, the late Cesar Tovar, were those types of players that played every position during a ball game.
Darren Holmes is warming up.
As far as I know, they only did it once.
That's one of those situations where a club is out of it, not playing well. They need a draw, so they decide to let a player like Cesar Tovar or Bert Campaneris play every position during the course of a game.
A little novelty. And we understand it was a former Yankee. Let's see, a couple of years ago, I remember they brought Mike Aldretti in to pitch a couple of innings, but as far as I know, he only did it once.
And he certainly didn't catch. David Cohn's night is done. 6 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
Disappointing, because Yankee fans, when David Cohn pitches at the stadium, don't often see a performance like that. He's got one of the best records at the stadium of any Yankee pitcher.
Brady Anderson's going to lead it off against Darren Holmes. Holmes is making his 13th appearance of the year. Looked like a cutter, and it's low and inside for a ball. Anderson walked, stole the base, scored a run. That was in the 3rd inning. And he's grounded out and flied out. Looked like another cutter. That missed for ball 2. 2-0. See, just underneath the neck area, that's where Anderson had that injury as he grounds a ball foul. Just right in here where the collarbone attaches right underneath your neck there. He kind of had a sprain, and he did it on a swing, and that bothered him for quite a while. He broke a finger in spring training when stealing a bag. He was hit by the throw. Last year he played with a cracked rib, and he was hit by the pitch. So Brady Anderson heads down to first as Holmes nicks him with a fastball in the inner half.
Not much going right for the Yankees tonight. They've had a lot of base runners, haven't been able to get the ball in the strike zone, and Anderson sells that call to Drew Coble. Said it just caught him in the uniform shirt. You could see it deflected, just nicked him down around that belt area. So for a change, the Orioles are getting those leadoff man and number 2 man on base. They haven't been doing that all year.
Anderson was hit 19 times last year to lead the league. See how close he stands to the plate. Here's Jeffrey Hammonds. Ball 1. Hammonds, like Anderson, walked in the 3rd inning and scored. You got to be leery of Anderson over at first, and he does have a good lead. Not going. Pitch is grounded to short for Jeter. Could be 2. To Knobloch for 1 on the first. Scooped out by Tino Martinez. Double play. They had to hurry because Baltimore had some speedy runners on base, but they got the job done.
Hit sharply enough, and Jeter with a quick release gives Knobloch plenty of time. But as you mentioned, Brady Anderson bearing down on him, and it takes a nice scoop on the other end by Tino Martinez to complete the play. I think Knobloch influenced a little bit by Anderson bearing down on him, and he got rid of that in a hurry.
Did Chuck really vacate the premises, or what? Did he get out of there? Here's Roberto Alomar. And he takes a call strike.
Second basemen have a little list. I don't know if they keep it in their pocket, but I know, like Frank Robinson, who was here the other night, Don Baylor, both former Orioles. You knew if they were on first base and you were a second baseman, get out of Dodge in a hurry.
They'd make the second baseman cheat a little bit more towards the bag. Get a little closer to second and open up that right side a little more. A ball and a strike on Alomar. You can see the score, 5-1. Baltimore leads here in the 7th inning. Yes, he did. He went around too far. A ball and 2 strikes. Our Toyota Orioles box score. Alomar with the 1 for 3. Harold Baines driven in 3 runs tonight, 2 for 3. PJ Surhoff with a couple of hits. Well, they tried it again. Why not? He wouldn't chase this one. The count goes to 2-2.
56-footer. Orioles haven't seen Holmes since he was with Milwaukee. He's been in the National League, but they remember that's what Darren was known for, is that good overhand curveball. And as deep as the starters have been going into the games lately, Joe Torre checking some of the stats, Holmes hasn't been able to get a lot of work.
Just underneath the chin, and the count goes full at 3-2. Alomar with the hit tonight and 1 for 3 has seen his average get up to 290. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Aaron Holmes strikes out Alomar to end the top of the 7th. We're headed for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. The Yankees need some runs. They're down by 4.
You mean Hertz gave us this great weekly rate just by booking early?
Exactly. Special low rates for booking in advance.
Huh. And we still get computerized driving directions, emergency roadside assistance, and great Hertz service.
Exactly. It's Hertz.
Wow. I guess it pays to plan ahead.
Exactly.
Sweetie, you think it's too early to give you my Christmas list?
There are times when it becomes a battle of will. When gaining ground means losing blood. When exhilaration meets exhaustion. When the vision of your goal is blurred only by the tears in your eyes. And either you have it in you, or you don't. Gatorade. Is it in you?
We got two young ladies who need our help.
Searching for the latest style?
Who are you? The fashion police?
You could say that. We're the Ford team. And may we suggest a Ford ZX2? Or an Explorer Sport. Each with a sporty contemporary styling that's definitely you.
And now you can lease a Ford ZX2 for just $199 a month or get low 1.9 financing during the Great American Ford Sales Event at your Ford dealer now.
You guys should have your own label.
We do, ma'am.
Fans, New York Yankee baseball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Ford dealers. That's why you drive a Ford. Well, the Yankees half of the 7th inning against young 21-year-old Sidney Ponceau. And the first pitch to Chuck Knobloch is in for a strike. Knobloch is warned for 2 with a walk.
I'm sure, Kenny, right now that Ray Miller is kind of holding his breath saying these are the innings that this team has let games get away. They have not been able to hold a lot of leads after the 7th.
A ball and a strike to Knobloch. Fans getting into it. There's a pitch inside, 2-1 to Knobloch. And the Orioles have already lost 3 games this season, which they led at the end of the 7th inning after losing only 4 of those all of last season. And can you say Randy Myers? Pitch is hit hard and deep to left field. Surhoff going back to the wall, and it's over his head. Knobloch is to second and will hold up with a 2-base hit. Just missing a home run. Good try by the Yankee left fielder.
Hit well by Knobloch, but as you see Surhoff take a quick glance and then it got over his left shoulder. It's one of those could have, not should have. It could have been caught. Hit far enough where if you're B.J. Surhoff, you say, hey, the ball's hit 400 feet, but you see he never got on the right side of the ball.
The Oriole left field.
Yeah.
You know, there's another case in point. You mentioned Camden Yards and Yankee Stadium. That is well back in the seats at Camden Yards. Well, Derek Jeter 1 for 3, had that base hit, extended his hitting streak to 14. But he's hit 2 solid shots that have been caught deep in the outfield. One to right and one to center. Yankee fans want some action here in the 7th inning. Knobloch's at second with nobody out. Breaking ball. Styled by Cal Ripken at third from his knees. Throws Jeter out. Well, now we're going to an update, and at Sports Desk, we're going to join Bill Daughtry.
Thanks, Kenny. Down in Philadelphia, Mark McGwire is your new National League and Major League home run leader. This is the 3rd of 3 on the night, no doubt about it. His 3rd home run of the game off Wayne Gomes gives St. Louis a 10-8 lead.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Babe Ruth of the 90s.
Wow. 20 home runs for Mark McGwire. We're going to look at this stab by Cal Ripken.
Yeah, this is great anticipation because Ripken doesn't have the speed anymore, but no doubt he's on the balls of his feet, ready to move either way, and takes a double away from Jeter.
Excellent play by the Baltimore third baseman. Robbed Jeter of at least a 2-base hit. O'Neill takes a call strike.
Another difference, Kenny, between the Orioles and the Yankees. The Orioles sell out every night, but their fans at this stage of the game don't get into the game like Yankee fans do. I don't know what the crowd is here tonight, 20,000 plus, but at this stage of the game, they sense that their ball club can come back.
Yeah, the Orioles yesterday on their last game of the homestand went over the 1 million mark in attendance. Pitch is hit hard to right field. It's going to be a base hit. In fact, it's getting all the way to the wall. O'Neill is going to hit for second. The throw is not in time. He's in with a double. Knobloch scores, and it's 5-2. Chuck Knobloch getting congratulations from his teammate.
Just a handful of plays tonight. The Hammonds catch, the Ripken pick on Jeter. Big play in this inning. O'Neill goes down and gets a breaking ball. He doesn't run fast, but he runs hard from step one, and Hammonds plays it as well as you can, and O'Neill is able to slide in just ahead of that tag.
There he is, barely in there, but in with a two-base hit. So O'Neill's third hit of the game, and it brings Ray Miller out to talk to young Sidney Ponson. There's nobody warming up at this point in the Orioles bullpen.
And if you're an Oriole right now and you see arms folded, almost with that look of, hey, this has been happening all year. Even though they're up 5-2, they give you the feeling that they're behind.
And they sense that this has happened before. So Ray Miller departs, and Bernie Williams comes to the plate. O'Neill's at second with one out. It was his 12th double of the year. You can hear the crowd in the background. Ball one. You know, it's yesterday the Yankee fans wanted to see David Wells, and the way he was pitching, we see Bernie fans in the upper deck. They were cheering the defense, and Bernie tonight they want the offense. Swung on, hot smash to second, handled by Alomar as he throws out Bernie Williams. O'Neill moves to third. So 2 outs now for Tino Martinez.
You mentioned nobody warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. I think Ray Miller has seen so many failed saves late in the game that he's saying, here's a young kid with a good live arm, and I'm going to give him a chance to move into a role and see if he can shut this ball club down. A lot of pressure on a 21-year-old coming in to pitch in Yankee Stadium.
The Orioles have made the second most pitching changes in the league, trailing only Cleveland. They got a high phone bill for the bullpen. Blocked by Hoyles.
Now, Paul O'Neill is not a speedster. Willie Randolph just walked over to him and said, hey, be alive now. This guy's throwing his curveball in the dirt. You have to be ready to score on a short pass ball or a wild pitch.
With Ripken well off the third, you can get a pretty good lead. Swung on and missed. The ball and a strike on Tino Martinez. Tino with 37 runs batted in on the year. And one more just 90 feet away. Two balls, one strike. Here's our Yankees Toyota box score. Knobloch with a couple of hits, 2 doubles. O'Neill with 3. Rocious with a couple. In the dirt again, a good stop by Chris Hoyles.
Look at that box score. Jeter probably feeling like he's had 3. I mean, he's been robbed twice, once by Hammonds and once by Ripken.
And he hit a fairly deep fly ball to Anderson in center.
Probably saying I ought to be 4 for 4.
Ball 4. It'll bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Tim Raines. Raines had opportunities in the first, again in the 5th, and couldn't get anybody home. Mike Flanagan on the phone, and now we're going to get some action in the Baltimore bullpen.
That tells you how Ray Miller is committed to going with Ponson, because if he was concerned about this inning, he'd have had someone up throwing long ago.
First and third, 2 outs. Raines jumps over to the other side of the plate. Switch hitter now batting left-handed. Swings line drive into left center field. It's a base hit. O'Neill will score the Yankees' 3rd run of the ball game as Raines comes through with a base hit. It is now 5-3 Baltimore. And Tim Raines picks up his 12th run batted in of the year.
Gets over on his best side of the plate, and he's a low ball hitter from the left side, and that's where this pitch is. Yankee hitters now don't have to worry about Ponson tricking them like Jobs did. They're getting a lot of fastballs.
Raines down at first. And Martinez at second with Chad Curtis at the plate. Fouled at the plate off of that shin guard, and it's strike 1.
Left-hander veteran Norm Charlton has just been joined by ex-Yankee Alan Mills. And in case the Yankees score another one, Mel Stoudemire going to get somebody up in the Yankee bullpen.
Curtis's base hit led off the 4th inning. He's up here in an RBI situation in the 7th. Third ball in the dirt. Ball and a strike. Martinez at second, Raines at first. The Yankees have cut into that 4-run lead and are now down by 2. Two balls in his strike.
And guess what Chad Curtis is locked in on right now? I mean, he has seen Ponson face a number of hitters, and he has not gotten his curveball. He struck Chad out on a bad curveball the first time. And he's probably as good a fastball hitter as the Yankees have in the lineup, and he's going to lock in on one right here.
And if it's anywhere around Beltline, you're going to see probably one of the best swings of a high fastball in the league. Hoyle's looking for help. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Timeout. And this may be to give the bullpen a little more time to get going.
Ray Miller, being an ex-pitching coach, may have felt that a little trip to the mound would have given Ponson a bit of a breather.
And also maybe giving Curtis a little bit more time to think about it.
Just disrupt the flow.
It's like when you call timeout on a free throw shooter, or you try to freeze a field goal kicker. 2 balls and a strike. Looked like a changeup off the end of the bat. Ponson off the mound has it, throws to first. Curtis is out. Well, the Yankees come up with a couple against the 21-year-old right-handed. Knobloch scored to make it 5-2. And O'Neill scored to make it 5-3. We're headed to the 8th. Yankees trail by 2.
Well, my Discover card statement reads like a wish list.
What?
Toys. I like toys. I love pinball machines. This will improve my golf game. It is unbelievable to me how fortunate I've been in my life, and I can't ask for anything more. The best thing you can do with your Discover card cashback bonus is give it straight to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's what I do.
It pays to Discover. Call 1-800-IT-PAYS-TO. Accepted where you see the nervous sign.
Like raptors, they prowl unopposed through the street. For nothing from Europe doth dare to compete. Their engineers cower and cry in their beer when faced with the new Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Lexus GS 300 and 400. Come see them overwhelm and underprice their leading competitors today at your nearby New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer.
Homeowners, this is Phil Rizzuto. For years, I've been telling you where to get the money you need. Today, the smart choice is National Finance. It's fast, it's free, and there's no obligation. Call 1-800-LOAN-NFC.
No matter what your credit is or how much equity you have in your home, NFC has a loan program for you.
and NFC is lending millions of dollars a day.
Dial 1-800-LOAN-NFC. The money you need when you need it. 1-800-LOAN-NFC.
Damage, the first digital camera with a move and zoom lens. A 3-foot cable shoots over the crowd's head, behind your back. Shoot up a storm, then download only the best into your PC. Yes, Damage V, the digital camera with a fast, straight, detachable lens. Only from the mind of the Nokia.
Decent crowd on hand, but as you can see, many of them left as soon as the last out made in the 7th. 31,000 plus. The Orioles lead at 5-3. We head to the top of the 8th. Let's look at our Aflac trivia quiz. Who is the only man to both pitch and catch in the same game 2 times? He is an ex-Yankee. And we could almost reach out and touch him. Back in 1987, Rick Cerone celebrating his 54th, maybe not quite that many, birthday tonight in the booth next to us. Did it back in 1987. In one of those emergency situations.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody wishing him up in the upper left-hand corner. He wishes it was his 28th birthday.
He'd still be playing.
Yeah, legitimately he's 44 today. Always good to see Rick Cerone in the ballpark. And Mike Stanton, now that the Yankees are within a pair, Joe Torre will go to his bullpen and match up against some of these left-hand Baltimore hitters. Stanton will face Rafael Palmeiro. Pulled toward Chuck Knobloch. First pitch swinging. Well, I'll tell you, Palmeiro, he's a Bible hitter. Thou shalt not pass. He's swinging at anything close. And to counteract the left-hand pitching Mike Stanton, as you see, is almost a strikeout an inning. As we'll get a look at Eric Davis. After Harold Baines as the DH knocked in 3 runs. Boy, both these teams can go to some veteran players on the bench. 8 home runs.
Number 24, Eric
Baines' night is over.
Harold Baines from a small town on the eastern shore of Maryland, St. Michael's. And he runs a golf tournament. You'll appreciate this because he runs a golf tournament in the offseason. It raises a lot of money for charities out there on the eastern shore of Maryland.
Happy to be playing back at home. Eric Davis, with that big hitch in his swing, can hit a low fastball about as far as anyone. Look at that bat position. He's one of those low and slow or high and hard. I saw him hit one of his first home runs as a kid in Cincinnati off Greg Minton. Real sinker ball right-hander. Great talent, helping Cincinnati win the World Series in 1990. On that one, but fouled straight back, and it's 1-2 to Davis.
Yeah, when he holds the bat as low as he does around belt high, supposedly just above the hands, you can get by him with a good hard fastball. But you better have something on it. And that's been supposedly the book on Eric Davis for years.
Got him.
And that's the area right there.
Big strikeout for Stanton. 2 down in the Oriole 8th.
Right around in this area, right in here on the inner half. You get the ball right there, you can get him out.
Cal Ripken is hitless in 3 tries, but did he make a play on Jeter that has helped keep the Orioles in the lead? Yankees have had 2 chances tonight, the first inning and then the bottom of the 7th, as Ripken takes high for a ball where they could have really put a big crooked number on the board. Knobloch thrown out stealing in the first. Yankees left him loaded, and then Ripken's play on Jeter kept him from having a bigger inning in the 7th. Fouled out of play.
Did you check the press guide today on Cal Ripken?
It takes you about a half hour to read it.
18 pages on Cal Ripken in the Orioles press guide.
That's a novel.
Yeah, that's like War and Peace.
In fact, one of the categories is ejections, and the man behind the plate, Drew Coble. 3 times Cal Ripken has been ejected, all on arguing balls and strikes, and Coble got him 1 of the 3 times.
Ripken with 373 home runs, 1 fewer than Rocky Colavito.
Here's the play we're talking about. This is headed down in the corner, but you see Ripken smother it from his knees. Off balance throw, but right on target. That took a double away from Jeter. Big play in the 7th inning.
How do you practice that? Did you just stand over there and just take a bucket of balls from your knees and throw to first?
Outside. Well, you know from playing with him how he prepares and how every pitch he anticipates the ball is going to be hit to him.
It's amazing. His career started out at third. Earl Weaver moved him to shortstop. And then he's back to third base where he started.
I think the Yankee pitchers have seen tonight he has not been out in front of a fastball yet. If you throw him a breaking ball on the inner half, you're doing him a big favor, because every foul ball has been over that first base side or back. Surhoff's had a good night. He waits on deck. Get on the handle right toward Jeter. Throw across the diamond, and Mike Stanton has a 1-2-3 inning. Yankees coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th. They have climbed within 2 of the Orioles. Back on MSG after this.
Due to popular demand, we've extended the Nissan Pre-Memorial Day event to Memorial Day and beyond, which means we've extended our incredible lease on the luxurious Nissan Maxima GXE. Just $299 a month for 39 months with an initial payment of $999. So get down to your Nissan retailer now and spend Memorial Day and beyond somewhere really exciting in that new Maxima you just leased for only $299 a month. The extended Nissan Pre-Memorial Day event at your Nissan retailer only through June 1st.
McDonald's is going wild over the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's most adventurous theme park ever, and so will you. The adventure starts with the wild, tangy taste of our McRib sandwich. Juicy, tender, and smothered in sassy barbecue sauce. But hurry, the McRib will be gone before you know it.
Honey, it's for you. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Little trucks make for long weeks, but Dodge Dakota's bigger to lighten Monday's load. Its tough Ram looks make Tuesday more memorable. Its longer, wider stance smooths Hump Day right out, while its superior Magnum power makes Thursday fly. And voila, it's Friday. And better yet, the weekend. Dakota, for shorter weeks and bigger weekends. Now select Dodge and competitive owners get $500 owner's bonus cash on all new Dakotas.
Williams, Alamo, Martinez, Ripken. The Yanks are at the stadium to battle the rival Baltimore Orioles again at their New York City Marriott scorecard tomorrow night, right here on MSG.
5-3 Baltimore. We head to the bottom of the 8th, and young Sidney Ponson is still doing the pitching. He'll face Scott Brocious. High ball 1. What a pitch he made on Chad Curtis in a fastball situation. Looked like he threw him a changeup.
It looked like he had him out in front, and Chris Hoyles went out there and verbally gave him the sign. Because maybe he didn't believe it when he put the fingers down.
Off-speed pitch high, 2-0. Jorge Posada with the Yankees down a pair has moved on deck to hit for Joe Girardi. That's in for a strike, 2-1. Right field, playable. Hammonds is there. One away in the Yankee 8th. Well, more Yankee baseball is coming up tomorrow. You can catch these red-hot Bombers as they continue their battle against Cal Ripken and the Orioles at 7:30 on MSG. And then on Sunday, Tino Martinez and the Yankees will head to Boston for a matchup with those high-powered Red Sox. First pitch set for 1 o'clock. Great Yankees coverage this week on MSG. Be sure to check your local listings.
Well, Kenny, a nice hand for Jorge Posada as he steps in.
Yeah, that's nice because it shows you that the Yankee fans pay attention. They realize how important a part he played in David Wells' perfect game. Plus, they know what a good job he's doing with the bat, improving every game. That pitch high for a ball. Outside, 2-0. Yankees have 11 hits. They have stranded 10. Charlton and Mills continue to throw. Low. 3-0.
You get to later innings and you're down by a run or two. You got to give yourself a chance. You got to get that one man on, give yourself a chance to tie the game.
And Chuck Knobloch has had some good at bats tonight. 4-pitch walk, and this has been one of the many downfalls of the Orioles this year. Their bullpen ERA is twice as high. They just have not thrown the ball in the strike zone late in the ball game.
All of the roles changed in the Orioles bullpen when Randy Myers decided to move on and sign with the Toronto Blue Jays. Everybody moved back a step towards the end of the game, and sometimes it takes a while to adjust to getting those last 3 outs, which are sometimes the toughest to get in a game.
That phone call is probably, if the Yankees tie it up or score a couple, get Mariano up, maybe Nelson along with him. If the Yankees take the lead, obviously it would be Mariano Rivera. High. Good situation. Knobloch, very patient hitter, and though his average isn't up that high, you see Rivera and Nelson moving around in the Yankee bullpen. But Knobloch's strike zone presents a tough target for a 21-year-old inexperienced pitcher like Ponson. There's that border. There's the difference between the weekend games and tonight. There again is that borderline pitch that Saturday and Sunday was a strike, but Drew Coble is more of a hitter's umpire.
Supposed to be the lower part of the knees.
Yeah, and it's where it goes across the plate. Now where Hoyles caught it, you'd say it definitely was low. And again, it's not a pitch that should have been called a strike, but it could have been called a strike.
You see, and you got a 21-year-old pitcher who hasn't been in the league much, and you got Chuck Knobloch at the plate, who's a veteran, whose job is to draw walks and get on.
Right.
And you got a closer heating up just in case.
Just in case the Yankees put a 3 spot on the board here in the 8th. I think Joe would even bring him in a tie game. Since you're at home, managers would do that. Ooh. Wow, uncharacteristic of Knobloch. 2-0 count, and he chased a breaking ball. Looked like a breaking ball.
It looked like it. Watch it target, and it's going to break almost down in the dirt. He was completely fooled.
That's a pitch Chuck would like to have back. Boy, they're giving you a 3-ball count with Jeter on deck. It's the young Ponson taking advantage of some of the veteran Yankee hitters, throwing off-speed pitches behind in the count. Posada's not going anywhere.
You know, any way this turns out, it's certainly got to be somewhat of a boost to the confidence of Ponson, his manager having him in this situation. I mean, nobody else has been doing the job, and Ray Miller says, well, let me give this youngster a chance, like you mentioned.
Well, without, as you referred to earlier, without Randy Myers down there, the Orioles are searching for someone who can do what Stanton and Nelson do for the Yankees in those late innings and setting up Rivera. Shows bunt, fouls it off, 2-2. Not a quality at bat so far by Knobloch after having Ponson in a 2-0 hole.
Let's see where this pitch is. He tries to lay it down for a bunt, and it looks like another one that was breaking out of the zone for a ball.
And you could see the disgust on Joe Torre's face. Puzzled, maybe a more of a puzzled look.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Knobloch. Another breaking ball. This one didn't have the break on it. The count has run full at 3-2.
And you can see him fidget a little on that Oriole bench. They've been through it before. Jeter has hit the ball hard enough to have 4 hits tonight. He waits on deck. Just 1 for 4. High for a ball, and Knobloch has drawn a walk, a 3-2 breaking ball. And here comes Ray Miller. The Yankees have the tying runs at second and first. And their hottest hitter stepping in the batter's box. Ponson will leave with 1 out in the 8th inning. And ex-Yankee Alan Mills will take over. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees threatening to tie it. Back on MSG after this.
They have substance, integrity. They're the individual pieces that contribute to a greater good, making lives less worrisome, futures more secure. They are the agents of New York life. Their humanity is the stone with which this company was built. They are why New York Life is the company you keep.
Where can I get Bell Atlantic mobile wireless service? I know I saw a store around here somewhere. Wait a minute. I can go to any Nobody Beats the Wiz location. That's where I can get the best wireless values in New York and New Jersey, like Digital Choice Service with the first incoming minute of every local call free. Plus, unlimited night and weekend local airtime is free for 1 year. And I know there's a store right over here.
Bell Atlantic mobile service is now at Nobody Beats the Wiz, a Cablevision company.
When you ship with Priority Mail, it's a great way to save money. But what about other parts of the world? There's Global Priority Mail. And here's the best part. Give us a few days more, and you can save up to 70% over FedEx or UPS. So, what's your global priority? Try Global Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
A reminder, this copyrighted telecast authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publications, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Yankees in Madison Square Garden is prohibited. Alan Mills.
He came in yesterday's ball game down at Camden Yards, walked the only 2 people he faced, and they eventually came along to score. And Alan Mills took the loss. He started out great this year, but has really struggled lately with the control. 14 walks in 16 2/3 innings, and has allowed 10 earned runs over his last 8 outings.
Seems to be the story of the Baltimore bullpen. Jose Cardinal giving Knobloch some instructions now. He's the tying run with 1 out, and Derek Jeter has had a tough night. He has hit the ball extremely hard, and Lifetime matches up pretty well against Alan Mills. Fans that have stayed are into it. Breaking ball popped up right side. Hammond's in and makes the grab. I have a feeling, Kenny, that Deacon Jones, who has followed this Yankee club around, has said these guys will hit first pitch fastballs. They've seen a lot of breaking balls tonight.
Well, Jeter's gotten that fastball in, and sometimes, that slider looks like that heat, and you go for it, and it's off the end of the bat. So Mills makes 1 pitch, and it looks like that's going to be it.
Looking for that first pitch fastball. Derek, who had been a 400 hitter against Mills, so he does his job with 1 pitch. 2 down now in the Yankee 8th. They trail by a pair. Back on MSG after this.
Today, a breath of fresh air blew into the NBA when a 19-year-old kid made his debut and stole the show.
He was different. He played with such emotion. It's very simple. He had eyes in the back of his head.
Before he played, you could get seats.
That's why they call him what they do.
The great thing about life is you never know what you might want to do next. With the American Express card, it can be anything you like.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only
only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
You'll find it easy to get to,
but very hard to leave. It's the Mohegan Sun Way.
We keep the line short and the action non-stop. It's the Mohegan Sun Way.
Everybody wins at these tables. It's the Mohegan Sun Way. We'll make every visit one you'll remember. It's the Mohegan Sun Way.
Exit 76 off I-95 in Connecticut. Like no place on earth. Come experience
the Mohegan Sun Way.
5-3, Baltimore Yankees still at the tying runs on base, and they'll get a look at veteran Norm Charlton. Will match up against his former teammate Paul O'Neill. You catch all the action. The Orioles continue this series tomorrow night, the 20th, and then on Thursday, May 21st. Both those games at 7:30. From now until May 31st, you can vote for the Decade of the 60s stamp, highlighted by Roger Maris, 61 homers in 1961. We vote at the stadium, around the web, www.yankees.com. Tickets for the upcoming games available at the stadium, through Ticketmaster, at the Yankee Clubhouse stores. Unveiling of the Babe Ruth stamp, the Decade of the 20s, prior to tonight's ball game. His 16th appearance, a high earned run average, and as you see the rest of his pitching line, a lot of strikeouts and also a high number of walks. So here's a couple of guys that helped lead Cincinnati to the world title in 1990. Charlton and O'Neill will face off here at the stadium. Not sure of the sign. O'Neill is 1 for 10, and Kenny, if you're a base runner right now, you have to know about Charlton's split finger. He throws a lot of them in the dirt. You got an excellent opportunity to move up into, to have both runs in scoring. I think that might be what Cardinel's telling Knobloch right now.
He will bounce. Charlton had been struggling somewhat earlier in the year, and Ray Miller told him that he doesn't throw as hard as he used to. He has to get the ball down more. Been throwing too many high fastballs.
Low ball one. One of those famed nasty boys back in the 90s with Randy Myers and Rob Dibble. They could all get it up there about 95 plus.
Dibble, year in and year out, led baseball strikeouts per 9 innings.
Jam shot's going to be in for a base hit. Posada will score. Knobloch thought about going to third and holds his ground, and the Yankees are within 1.
Now, from the standpoint of Norm Charlton, you got to think, well, I did my job. I made a pretty good pitch. O'Neill, look at him fight that thing off. Just loop it in the left field for the base hit. It's not sometimes how well they are hit, it's how well they are placed. And this one is placed just over third and in the left field. Look at him bring the arms in so he can try and get the barrel of the bat on the ball. Didn't get much of it, but just enough to get it to the outfield.
And now, because this has happened so quick, Ray Miller has not been able to get his pitchers up quickly enough. I think he'd like to make a move and put Bernie Williams over on the left side of the plate. Hoyle's going out to buy a little time. Bernie looking for his first hit tonight. And he obviously got the call from the bullpen. So Mills, a one-hitter appearance, gets Jeter out. Charlton saw his former teammate bloop a single to left, and it'll come down to hard-throwing Armando Benitez against Bernie Williams. A typical Yankee-Oriole game. Long, dragged, a lot of pitchers, a lot of action, 19 hits, and it's not over yet. Back on MSG, the lead is down to 1 after this.
The world's greatest explorer wasn't available, so they got this guy. He's offensive. He's vulgar. He's perfect.
I hope Satan himself burns the flesh from your miserable bones.
Chris Farley.
You know, I've waited years to hear somebody say that.
Matthew Perry.
Trust me, the worst is over.
They're hitting the road and anything else that gets in their way. Almost Heroes, rated PG-13, starts Friday, May 29th.
You mean Hertz gave us this great weekly rate just by booking early?
Exactly. Special low rates for booking in advance.
Huh. And we still get computerized driving directions, emergency roadside assistance, and great Hertz service.
Exactly. It's Hertz.
Wow. I guess it pays to plan ahead.
Exactly.
Sweetie, you think it's too early to give you my Christmas list?
Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. It's the games, the shows, the stars, and the magic behind the scenes. See it all on the Madison Square Garden Behind the Scenes Tour presented by Konica, the famed arena, the theater, the locker rooms of the Knicks and Rangers, and how it all happened.
It was a lot of fun. You see so much.
It's nice to bring the family over, get behind the scenes.
Call 465-5800 for information. It's your backstage pass to the Garden.
5-4 Baltimore. You're looking at hard thrower Armando Benitez. 21 games. He is now the Orioles closer since the departure of Randy Myers. Look at those numbers. I mean, 31 strikeouts, but 17 walks. You don't hit the ball very often against him.
Yeah, but the fact that he still puts men on base with the base on balls, and any time that you have men on as a closer and somebody gets a hit, it can be devastating because somebody's going to score after all the base on balls. So Norm Charlton faces one man, gives up the base hit to Paul O'Neill. He departs. And now Benitez, who didn't have much time to warm up down the bullpen. He's in there, and sometimes, as you saw, his control can be suspect.
Knobloch's at second. O'Neill's at first. O'Neill would represent the lead run. And if you like numbers, Bernie Williams' lifetime is 3 for 4 against Benitez. There is the three relievers, Mills, Ponson, and Charlton, consoling one another. I mean, they're in the lead, and you wouldn't know it by that look. Inside, ball one.
They mentioned the fact that Benitez throws hard. At Camden Yards, they have a readout on the scoreboard of how hard the pitch has been thrown. And last year, he hit 100 a couple of times. And Ray Miller, who was a pitching coach last year, does not like that readout. And I think if you talk to Joe Torre, he wouldn't like it either. Because when they get around 99, they try and throw a little bit harder.
And sometimes Benitez, the harder he throws it, the farther it goes, and he has a little trouble finding the strike zone. Swung on and missed. Big swing by Bernie. Almost an overswing. It looked like.
Looks like he saw this one real well. It was a cutter or a slider on the inner half. You know, there are pitchers, you mentioned he's 3 for 4, that no matter how hard they throw, you still see the ball well. You pick it up.
Corkscrewed himself into the ground there. Boy, these Yankee Stadium fans love the Oriole Yankee matchups. Always seems to go down to that last out, that last inning. Outside, 2-1. Knobloch at second. He drew a walk. O'Neill's bloop single plated the 4th run. He's at first. And still sitting very relaxed on the Yankee bench, but a little different story over there. They have gone through some tough times, just being swept at home by the Devil Rays.
3 games under 500 for the first time in a few years in Baltimore.
Bernie will play. You could almost predict that. He will play his waiting game. See, he now is going to get a foothold and get ready before Benitez comes set. Long drive to taken the lead. Going to call. Yeah, he's gone. Benches are going to empty. That was a frustration pitch on Benitez's point. No need for it.
Darryl Strawberry's after the man.
That was a real cheap shot. Umpires trying to restore a little order. I thought Tino might step out because the crowd wanted a curtain call from Bernie. And Benitez, because of all the frustration.
Graham Lloyd. They're after him. This is getting ugly now.
Yeah, you got to break it up. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Man, you don't throw at Tino Martinez. The Yankees have shown that before.
Ellie Hendricks trying to calm Joe Girardi down.
It was Graham Lloyd who broke through the pack. It's warming up again, folks. That's Tino.
You can see the wiser heads ripped in trying to calm things down, but Tino irate, and I don't blame him.
Me neither.
I mean, there's one thing about making a hitter move his feet, but when you just blatantly bury one in his back after the guy before you hit a home run, that's a real cheap shot.
I mean, Bernie just went around the bases, didn't show anybody up, and the guy, to me, when a pitcher does that, it's showing that he has no confidence he can get people out. I know he's frustrated. He gave up the home run. But this is just going to lead to something else in this series, and maybe right now. Somebody's going to get it for the Orioles, probably tomorrow.
Now all of the umpires, as this spills into the dugout, this is horrible. The umpires now are standing out by the foul line because they can't do anything about it. They're just...
In the dugout, that's where the action is right now.
Well, they've got to get some of the veterans in there and break this up.
Like Eddie Murray's trying to break things up on this side, but right here, right there, and they're holding Tino back. He wants in the pot. Right down there.
I think Tino is signaling that that might not have been the first time Benitez has done that.
Murray and Strawberry right there.
Charlton in the middle of it. That's an ugly scene. And the umpires, did what they could to try to prevent it. They don't want to get in the middle of it and get hammered by an uppercut, so they're just idly standing near the foul line. Joe Torre right now trying to keep Darryl Strawberry calm.
When a pitcher hits somebody, after Tino didn't throw that pitch that was hit for the home run. If it's Benitez's fault. It's the fourth home run he's given up in under 18 innings.
Ted Hendrick is
Benitez is gone. He's chasing somebody.
You see Drew Coble, let's get out on the field and play ball. He immediately ejected Benitez.
Back, the Orioles had a brawl a few years ago with the Seattle Mariners, and Ripken twisted a knee so badly he almost had to come out of the lineup. And the Orioles had an off day the next day, and he sat out and then came back and played and kept the streak going. It almost ended his streak in a brawl a lot like this one.
I'm trying to think of who was serious. Was it Dan Wilson or somebody in that game was seriously injured and their season was lost? Brady Anderson trying to restore. Let's check the pitch.
I mean, it's right there. There's no doubt what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you hit him low, he can understand. Benitez thrown out by home plate umpire, and now Benitez drops the glove. Strawberry is coming in this direction. There's no reason for it.
The Oriole players have to be embarrassed by what Benitez did.
You know,
totally classless.
What's going to happen is he's going to get one of his own guys hurt.
Exactly.
And this is where things start. You see Graham
Lloyd. He's coming
Jeff
after Benitez. Nelson right behind him, and this is where it began to get ugly. This is where the umpires lost control.
Strawberry jumps him.
And for the most part here, a lot of the players are looking around trying to restore law and order, but still a couple Yankees trying to get at Benitez. Jimmy Key and David Wells.
You know what, David Wells, yeah. You know, one thing, at the beginning of the year, you usually have a plan, and you can see that Graham Lloyd and Jeff Nelson had a plan. They came around the pack out of the bullpen. Yeah, Tino's being held off by quite a few people. He had no chance of getting back into it.
I think Tino's, if he can read his lips from time to time, Arthur Rhodes trying to hold him off, is saying this isn't the second time this has happened.
Whoa!
Darryl Strawberry into the. I think the Yankees have seen this before from Benitez, and that's why this thing got a little uglier than usual.
Benitez again. Graham Lloyd trying to get in some shots, and here comes Nelson. I mean, if you're going to be willing to hit people, you're going to have to be willing to stand up for yourself. Grosh is trying to get in. Oh, here's a shot by Darryl. Just missed.
Yeah, it's an ugly scene. You'd like to be able to just white it out of a baseball game, and all caused by a senseless pitch by Armando Benitez. There's a time to make a hitter move his feet and knock him down, but that right there is totally uncalled for after Bertie Williams hit the home run.
You know, certain guys gain a reputation for throwing at people, and even their own teammates don't like to have them on the team, because what happens is when you come up to hit, you're the one who's going to have to face the music. Another thing is, in this league, pitchers do not hit.
Yeah.
And if you're a pitcher in this league and you have a reputation for throwing at people, eventually you're going to have to come to the plate.
Yeah, let's do away with the DH.
Well, that's another reason why you shouldn't have it. Because Benitez is not going to have to face something around his chin.
Eddie Murray, I don't think fighting with Darryl. He's trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
Ripken too. Joe Torre. Like David Wells said after his perfect game, Darryl Strawberry carried the whole team off, so they definitely want to harness his emotions there in the dugout.
This is like one of those hockey brawls where the umpires have to figure out who stays and who goes.
It's awful. And it's taken away so much of what Bernie Williams did to electrify this crowd. The Yankee owner looking on. Bobby Munoz, an ex-Yankee, will now come on to take over the pitching. And the key, Kenny, now, and we've all been involved in some things like this, as ugly as they are. You've got to get your emotions in check and get back to the business of playing within yourself and trying to win a ball game.
Winning this game, and I think if there's any retribution for the Yankees to an Oriole hitter, it's going to come later on in this series. Shouldn't happen tonight because it'd be much too blatant.
This is what started it.
Well, here's the home run. He threw him several cutters or sliders on the inner half. Remember the pitch Bernie had a good swing on and fouled it off. He said he jumped out of his skin to hit it. Well, he threw him another one. Sometimes you don't get that second pitch in that at bat, and you can see Benitez upset for just giving up the big home run. And the Yankees have scored 4 times here in the 8th inning. And here's the very next hitter, very next pitch, right between the 2 and the 4. And you know what? This guy's control is suspect. If it was a little higher, he would have hit him in the head. And to me,
to Tino's credit, he didn't run right out to the mound. He knew immediately what the purpose of it was.
Yeah, I've been thrown at it. It is no fun.
No. There's a brushback pitch that has a place in the game.
He had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go except take that pitch.
That kind of sums up. We mentioned a couple of innings ago how the Orioles have let a lot of these games get away. And that just was the culmination of a lot of frustration for Armando Benitez. Certainly doesn't excuse him for doing it.
Well, this is the 5th pitcher they're going to use this inning.
Bobby Munoz just called up from their minor league system, the ex-Yankee.
Had been with the Phillies for a while, had some surgery, really slowed down his progress. You know, one thing these things do now, the Yankees don't need to be united anymore as a club. They're playing great baseball. The Orioles standpoint, frustration builds. Sometimes something like this can spark a team. But you hopefully nobody was injured in this whole thing.
And Ray Miller knows instead of sparking his team, that act embarrassed his team. And I'll guarantee you most of the veterans on there feel the same way.
He's going to have a talk with not Tino but Ray Miller. Talk with Benitez. You know, years ago with Baltimore, a pitcher joined our team, Paul Hartzell, had a reputation for throwing at people, and he gave up a homer to Gorman Thomas. And he came in the dugout. He says, I'm going to hit him the next time up. And Earl Weaver told Ray Miller, I don't want any of that stuff here, because what happens is if somebody hits Eddie Murray and he gets hurt, then the whole team is screwed up. Right. So that's why you don't throw at people, because there's retribution involved. Of course, the pitcher Hartzell didn't have to hit, but Ray Miller explained to Hartzell, we don't throw at that many people. We don't throw at people here unless we're trying to. It's in retribution, because we don't want to get anybody throwing at Eddie Murray.
And I'm sure that's the same way Ray Miller feels right now if you're Cal Ripken or Rafael Palmeiro.
And that's why you don't throw at Tino Martinez.
Ray Miller trying to keep his team off the field until the last possible moment, because it has excited this crowd. It's what's lost in all of this, unfortunately, is the dramatic 3-run homer by Bernie Williams, which puts the Yankees on top 7-5. They threatened all night, left 10 men on base, and finally in the 8th inning, Bernie's 4th home run of the year gives them the lead. After going a long time without a home run, he now has 4. Back to action, and Tim Raines, the designated hitter, will hit against Bobby Munoz, with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th.
This is only the first game between these clubs this year.
Hit well to deep right. Looking up is Hammonds, and Raines has left the yard. 9-5 Yankees. Fouled by Curtis. That's the way you answer. And Tim Raines did it.
Well, Munoz delivers, and so does Tim Raines. The Yankees showing late foot in this ballgame. 6 runs here in the 8th inning.
Breaking ball misses, and it's 1-1 to Curtis. 3rd home run by Raines, and you brought it up before the game, Kenny. It's remarkable as a part-time player how he keeps his stroke. 7 straight games now he's hit in.
I mean, sporadically. He'll play one day and won't play for 2.
Low, and it's 2-1.
Here's another look. Pitch up maybe a little bit more than Munoz wanted it. It's certainly up a lot more than he wanted it now. Raines knew it too, didn't he?
Low, 3-1. Somebody asked me the other day, as you see Munoz's reaction to the home run, what you mean when you say put a crooked number on the board. Well, that's what the Yankees did here in the 8th. The 6 in the bottom of the 8th to take a 9-5 lead. Breaking ball grounded towards short. Bordick in the hole. Gets him by a stride. But the damage has been done by that man, Bernie Williams. A 3-run homer in the middle of that 6-run 8th gives the Yankees a 9-5 lead as we head to the top of the 9th. Back on MSG with the 9th inning after this.
Evander Holyfield's beaten the biggest names in boxing, but now he could be making his biggest mistake. Holyfield versus Akinwande, Saturday, June 6th.
Baseball season is in full swing, and you still haven't called for your MLB extra innings? What are you waiting for? A free preview? Well, you got it. From Thursday, May 14th to Tuesday, May 19th, you can see up to 38 great matchups on DirecTV Sports. That's almost a full week of Major League action for free. Watch the O's square off with the Yanks in an AL East grudge match. Or catch the Atlanta Braves versus the big bats of the Houston Astros. And be there at Fenway to see the Battle of the Sox as Chicago takes on Boston. See up to 9 games a day. All you have to do is tune in to Channel 302 for the daily sports schedules. Then just kick back and enjoy. But don't forget your remote, because this is too much baseball to contain on just one channel. So where else can you get this much action for free? Only on DirecTV.
9-5 Yankees. We head to the top of the 9th, and right now we're going down to our studio in Yankee Stadium here and join Al Troutwig. Al, what have you got for us?
Well, Jim, I've spent the last few minutes seated next to the Yankee dugout as things calm down. This group of players is extremely angry. Derek Jeter, dumbest thing I've ever seen in the game. Bernie Williams, there is no place in the game for what he did. I can't believe how stupid they were. That's sort of the mood. That's the temperament of the team right now.
And a totally classless act by Benitez out of frustration. Embarrassing for the Orioles, and when it's all said and done, both managers hope that no one in that ugly brawl comes out with some kind of an injury. Ray Miller just stunned.
Well, if Stanton hits somebody this inning, he will be out of the game, and Joe Torre will be thrown out of the game.
And I think the Yankees are smart enough, and Mike Stanton, not to have that happen. They got a 4-run lead.
Yeah.
Because of the 4-run lead, now Mariano Rivera, who had been warming up in the bullpen, will sit down, and Mike Stanton will continue to pitch. Surhoff is perfect on the night. Pair hits and a walk. And the first pitch in for a strike.
You know, you sense that the crowd might want to see something happen, but
no,
tonight's not the night.
All smiles now as the Yankees have come back to take a 9-5 lead after being down 5-1 after 6 innings. Another one just off the edge, 1-1.
It's amazing to me because the Yankees weren't playing very well. They had let numerous opportunities get by, but then all of a sudden these last 2 innings shows you that they can erupt at any time.
Check swing to third. Grosh's to Tino. 1 down in the 9th. Hoyles will step in, and we talk about the 4-run category, Kenny. When a team scores 4 runs, the Yankees are the best in both leagues. If they win this one, they will be 24-2. But an insight into how the Orioles have let games get away late. They've scored 4 runs a game more than the Yankees, but they're only 16-12. They'd be 16-13 if they lost this one. And that tells you one thing. Those kind of numbers say your bullpen's not doing the job. Ball 1 to Hoyles. Looking for answers. And he hasn't found any yet. 2-0.
And if the Orioles should go on to lose this one, and it looks like they will lose their 4th game of the year, in which they led after the 7th inning.
In the air, short left. Jeter out, Curtis in. Curtis makes the grab, 2 down.
And last year they only lost 4.
Reminder that after Yankee coverage tonight, join our MSG Sports Desk. Bill Daughtry standing by with all the day's activities. Mark McGuire with a 3-home run night. And then at midnight, Fox Sports News brings you national news with a hometown flavor to it. You can pick up what you missed on the Sports Desk at midnight on Fox Sports News. Down to the last out, the Orioles are, and it's strike 1 to Bordy. What would be an emotional victory for the Yankees, and what a night for these fans. 31,000 on hand, about half of them left after the 6th inning. Towards shortstop, Jeter, the sure-handed one. The toss to Martinez, and the Yankees have come back to beat the Orioles. Bernie Williams was some late lightning. A 3-run shot, and the Orioles are now 15 games in the loss column behind the Yankees. What a statement this club made tonight in the 8th inning.
Well, Mike Stanton faced 6 men, retired all 6, picked up a strikeout. Norm Charlton, one of those relievers that came on to the 8th inning and gave up the runs and gave up the lead.
Shocked, I think, on that Oriole bench. I think one of the reasons they're hanging around, they don't want anything happening between the bullpens as they walk in at the conclusion of this game. But nothing will. The Yankees got what they wanted. They got a 9-5 win, and the Orioles making sure the rest of their troops get into the dugout. Be interesting to see their clubhouse, Kenny, because one of the, I guess, criticisms by Oriole people is these kind of losses don't seem to irritate. They just take them in stride. And they, as Rick Cerrone said to Al Trotwig in the pregame show, there hasn't been a sense of urgency. Both teams waiting, as you can see, to make sure nothing else erupts as soon as everyone gets to their respective dugouts.
Well, once that Benitez threw that pitch, there was nothing more in stride for the rest of the night. And the fact is, there are going to be ill feelings over this for it's going to linger.
I guess those eyes say a lot about what's happened so far for the
Jesse Orozco and Arthur Rhodes. Looks like the last man in is going to be Elrod Hendricks for the Orioles and Tony Cloninger for the Yankees. Elrod Hendricks, number 44.
Orioles now 4 games under 500 with the high expectations of contending in the AL East. The Yankees run their major league best record to 29-9. Well, we know you'll want to stick around for this post-game show with all the fireworks both on the field and some of the embarrassing ones off the field. Al Trotwig and Michael Kay standing by. The Yankees win it 9-5 in a thrilling come-from-behind win. Back on MSG after this.
No, I don't need vinyl siding. This is an apartment. I can't get away from these salesmen.
I'm Jim.
Hi, Jim. This is...
One less person stuck in a meeting. One less person caught in traffic. One less person put on hold. One more human being more human. Achieve New Balance.
Bob's, the place for New Balance. New York Yankees baseball on MSG. The Yanks are at the stadium to battle the rival Orioles again after New York City Marriott scorecard tomorrow night on MSG.
Welcome back to Wild Yankee Stadium. 31,000 plus on hand when it started. Those that stuck around saw a wild one as we look at our Jeep Eagle game summary. Yankees with 6 runs in the 8th inning win it 9-5, 9-14-0. The Orioles committed a couple of errors. Mike Stanton wins his 3rd. Norm Charlton faced 1 man, gave up a bloop single. He takes the loss. 2 home runs. Bernie Williams 4th, Tim Raines 3rd, and Bernie Williams' dramatic 3-run homer in the 8th inning was the big blow. The Yankees bullpen did a great job, and let's take a look at that home run.
And this is, of course, our Dodge drive of the game, and it looked like a little cutter or a slider. Bernie had a good swing at one previously in that bat and got another one, and certainly got all of it up to the upper deck, and that gave the Yankees a lead, and they're on their way to their 9-5 win.
Well, the big difference late in the game was the performance of the Yankee bullpen versus the Orioles, but our guest standing by with Al Troutwig with the man that struck the big blow. Al?
All right, Jimmy, Bernie Williams believes it was a slider that didn't do much. I don't know where to start with you, Bernie, but I guess this whole thing was your fault. The dramatic home run, the Orioles just couldn't deal with it. I mean, first of all, let's stick with the game. I mean, you won the game with a dramatic home run. Were you a little frustrated when you got to that at-bat because of the way the night had gone?
Well, yeah, the first couple of at-bats, besides that, the walk, I was up in front in every pitch. They were throwing me change-ups, and they were like right in my zone, and I was just up in front of them. And I just kept thinking, you just got to stay back and see the ball, stay back and see the ball, and most important of all, keep fighting, because there was going to be a chance that I was going to get a chance to win the game.
How about how you take Ray Miller making a pitching change just to flip you around to the left-hand side of the plate? What are you thinking when he does that to you?
Well, I like my chances against Benitez. Because I've had pretty fairly success against him in the past. Charlton was a guy that had given me a lot of trouble in the past.
So maybe he overmanaged himself.
He has a great forkball, and sometimes I'm able to hit it. Sometimes it's just too tough to hit.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the pitch and the swing. Tell me what you learned in the at-bat leading up to this pitch that set you up.
Well, he was working me in. He threw me a fastball away, and I just kept thinking, just see the ball and just hit it hard somewhere. And I was just fortunate enough to get a pitch that I could get a good swing at, and I was, fortunate enough to go out.
Hey, the fans were awesome tonight. I thought they added so much juice to the game. It started in the 7th with Knobloch's double. I don't know how it translates into whether you can hit a ball further or hit a home run, but boy, it really felt like the energy was really strong tonight.
Yeah, whenever you feel like the fans are there and they don't give up on you, it's a great feeling. You go out there and try to give your 100%, and hopefully good things happen.
All right, let's get to now the absurdity of what Armando Benitez does on the very next pitch. This game turned in 3 pitches. Your home run, this to Tino Martinez, and then the very first pitch to Tim Raines, but we'll get to that. I mean, this is really scary stuff, isn't it?
You see, when you get a guy throwing 100 miles an hour and he does something like that, it's you understand the frustration of giving up a home run, but that doesn't by any means justify that action. I think, you give a home run, you be a professional.
Be a man.
Be a man and take your, keep going in the game.
Have you ever seen Tino that mad?
I think he has done it to him before. Out in 96 or 95, I think it was the same situation. Somebody else hit a home run, and Tino was the guy next, and he hit him too. Now, so it's thing going,
What do you think escalated it to the point that it got as ugly as it did?
Well, I think because everybody just got very frustrated because of him, man. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to do.
Where were you in the middle of all this?
I was trying to hold people. I was just looking. Then I came over, and Rafael Palmeiro was holding me, and I told him I'm not going. I'm not throwing any punches. I'm not doing anything. But then I got away from him. Then I started holding Arthur Rhodes, which he was pretty mad. He was gonna go at Tino, and I just told him, man, just cool out, man. It's not worth it. And it got pretty ugly down there.
Yeah, and it's scary too. Those are concrete steps. You got the huge momentum of everybody rolling down those steps. I know Darryl looked like he may have taken a shot to the face. Whether he hit the top of the dugout going down or whether he got hit some other way. As far as you know, was Darryl okay when he came back?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really see him. I think he probably was somewhere inside, but I think he got a hold of him. Then somebody else got him, and just everybody just got into it.
Now, right here, this is, you know, this is like off the decks of the Titanic here.
This is as bad as I've seen a fight in my years playing baseball. I mean, this is pretty ugly right here.
You know, the thing that happens, and my thought, there's Mike Stanton getting knocked up in front of the camera. That's obviously not a very forgiving thing, that piece of metal. Jorge Posada's involved there. David Cohn came out of the clubhouse.
Yeah, everybody got involved in that.
You know, it's not like the Yankees needed any more galvanizing. You guys are a pretty tight group, and now this, and you got to figure that it even brings the team even closer together.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, especially against those guys. You know, you got to realize that if we play the game, we're going to play the game. You know, this is just unnecessary.
I thought it was an amazingly in-your-face moment. Tim Raines goes to the plate. It's calmed down. It's like 20 minutes, and he hits another home run. Yeah. I mean, as if to say, oh, you want to do that? Here you go.
There you go. It's just great for him, you know, come out there and with all the distractions, he was able to focus and hit that home run. You know, it was just great.
We're going to get a chance to take a look at it because it was the defining moment after the fight. This is how the Yankees scored their 6 runs.
Yeah, just
and Rock had a very frustrating night too. You know, he came to the plate with bases loaded and grounded out. Later in the game, he had some runners on.
Just the same situation. I think it's just the character of the team. You know, we just don't give up, keep fighting, and you know, great things have been happening to us.
So what do you think now happens for the rest of the series? I think, you know, some people could sit there and say, well, the Yankees have to retaliate, but it would be the ultimate cool thing to just beat them up on the scoreboard and not do that. What do you think happens?
Well, it's no way of telling. You know, I think at some point, you know, something's got to be done. Maybe not us, but maybe the league, you know, has to do something to stop this nonsense because it was really unnecessary. You know, I can just speak for myself. You know, I can't speak for the rest of the team, but we're just going to be very, very motivated to win this series.
All right. Well, to Armando Benitez, we say, shut up and play baseball.
That's right.
Thanks, Bernie.
Play the game.
Bernie Williams wins this ball game with a dramatic home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. 9-5 here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. How's this for back-to-back ball games? Man, we'll go to the MSG Sports Desk and be back in a moment.
Thanks, Al. New York Mets, in a less explosive way, they got it done. They beat the Cincinnati Reds twice tonight at Shea Stadium. 7-3 in the opener, 5-3 in the nightcap. Mets with a doubleheader sweep. The Chicago Bulls, well, they take a 2-0 lead in their best-of-7 Eastern final with the Indiana Pacers. Michael Jordan and company rallying late for a 104-98 victory. The series now 2-0. It moves back to Indiana. In the NHL, Detroit, they go to the NHL's Western Conference Finals. An impressive 6-1 rout of St. Louis. They take that series in 6 games, 4-2. We've still got a late edition of Sports Desk coming up, so make sure you stick around for that. We'll go back uptown to the stadium after these commercial messages right here on MSG Network.
From the great spans that leap across the rivers to the gentle footpaths of the park, New York is a city of bridges. Still, there never seem to be enough. So American Airlines is building new ones. More than 220 every business day. Across the land and across the sea. To Los Angeles, London, Lima, Peru. Extending from the New York City area's 6 airports to over 250 cities all over the world. A bridge is more than stone and steel, and an airline is more than a fleet of planes. Yet both can take you where you want to go. American Airlines, New York's bridge to the world.
Wins for the Mets, 2 wins for the Yankees, and of course coming up later on tonight on Sports Desk, Mark McGwire with a big night in Philadelphia. It's all coming up on our late edition of Sports Desk. We'll go back to the stadium after these messages.
That's another one.
The Ford team is on the road, making people happy one Ford at a time during the Great American Ford Sales event. So if you need a great deal on a new Ford, then head on over to your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer and get an Explorer Sport with low 1.9% financing or a $335 a month lease with no down payment. That's right, 1.9 financing or $335 a month with no down payment. But hurry while selection is best during the Great American Ford Sales event at your Ford dealer now.
At this rate, we'll sell them all.
American Express Small Business Services. How can I help you? How can I help you?
Right. We only work with small businesses.
Why don't we start with your cash flow? And our equipment financing plan will help spread out the payments.
That'll definitely give you more flexibility.
How about setting up a line of credit?
We can do that. Then I'll put you in touch with one of our CPAs so you can start getting ready for tax time.
We can always make adjustments when your situation changes.
Call 1-800-SUCCESS to find out how American Express Small Business Services can help you do more.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. David Wells is down to one more out. O'Neill appears to have room. He puts it away, and David Wells has pitched a perfect game.
Hey! No, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the personal post office from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Call now and get all this for a 90-day free trial.
The personal post office. Mailing made simple.
An exciting come-from-behind win by the Yankees. They win it 9-5 thanks to Bernie Williams' dramatic 3-run homer in the 8th inning, marred by an ugly, ugly brawl, which we've covered some of already on our post-game show. But as Al Trautwig, I think, Kenny mentioned to Bernie Williams, the Yankees now have two choices, retaliate or go and play baseball, and I think I know which one they'll make.
Well, I think the Yankees they got to focus on this season and winning the division and then going on from that point. And I would think that the best statement they could make to the Baltimore Orioles is to continue to beat them during the course of this season. I would think if the opportunity arises somewhere down the road where they can retaliate, get a big lead one night, and one of the Orioles hitters comes up, I think you could see something happen. But I think in this series, I think they'll concentrate on winning some baseball games.
Yeah, there seems to be a little history between Armando Benitez throwing at Tino Martinez. This isn't the first time it happened, and we'll have that report on the post-game show. Tino, of course, I think you referred to a fight they had with the Seattle Mariners a few years ago, and that may be where it took place.
Well, if it's happened before, you can understand why Tino was so upset. And it looked to me when he was hit, he really didn't expect it. Sometimes as a hitter, particularly in days gone by, in the older days, you can expect to be brushed back or a pitch would come close, but you could see he could not. There was no way he could get out of the way of that pitch. Hit him right square in the back. And, Benitez's control isn't that great to begin with. I mean, he's walked 17 guys in 17 innings. And if he misses by a bit, a few inches up, he hits Tino in the head. And I think there's certainly no place for that because you're always taking a chance as a pitcher. When you decide to hit somebody, you can miss and really do some damage.
I think pitchers are taught to push hitters back off the plate, a legitimate brushback pitch, make them move their feet, but no place in the game for what Benitez did tonight, and I think the Oriole players, to a man, are probably pretty embarrassed by what happened.
Yeah, it's a situation that I think that Benitez has been struggling out of the bullpen. The whole bullpen has been struggling. We saw the whole bullpen in the 8th inning, and maybe he was trying to make a statement. Well, that's the wrong statement to make. The statement was made when Bernie Williams hit the ball on the upper deck by the Yankees, and you don't gain anything back by hitting somebody on the very next pitch or any of the hitters following Bernie Williams. I mean, as Bernie said, you heard him say, why don't you just stand out there and take it like a man? I mean, he gave it up, and it's just one of those things that's going to happen. You're going to give up home runs late in ball games, and they're going to lose them for you. You got to take it like a man and go from that point on. And when he hit Tino Martinez, I think he really upset a sleeping giant in the Yankees. Well, they're not sleeping so much, but they're certainly a giant of a ball club.
And Bernie Williams' dramatic home run made the statement. Tim Raines put the exclamation point on it with his 2-run homer. The Yankees win it 9-5. Mike Stanton, the winner. He's 3-0. Norm Charlton facing just his former teammate Paul O'Neill gives up a single, and he takes the loss. He's 0-1. Coming up, you won't want to miss our Jeep Eagle post-game report coming up with Al Trautwig and Michael Kay. Reports from the principal owner of the Yankees, George Steinbrenner, on the ugly fight that took place tonight. And tomorrow on MSG, we invite you to join us starting at 7 o'clock with our New York Marriott's Yankee Scorecard show. Hideki Irabu will pitch against former Yankee Jimmy Key. There was a lot of good hard baseball tonight, and that was the blow that decided the ball game. Yankees were down a run, and Bernie Williams' 3-run homer made it 7-5 after the Yankees squandered a lot of opportunities early in this one. Tino Martinez, who has had a history with Armando Benitez throwing at him, he said that's 2 times you've done that. Had to be restrained by his own teammates, as well as Ellie Hendricks, the Baltimore bullpen coach. Darryl Strawberry in the middle of it, taken away by Joe Torre. It got ugly. Embarrassing situation for baseball. Tim Raines put the capper on it with a 2-run homer to make it 9-5 Yankees. For Leon Schreier, Bill Webb, Eddie Caginelli, my partner Ken Singleton, Jim Cott saying so long from the stadium. Yankees win 9-5.
New York Yankees baseball has been brought to you by The Dime, the bank that's with you all the way. By the 68,000 professionals at Delta Airlines. By the Discover Card. By your Tri-State GMC dealers, comfortably in command. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers.
People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we've just begun.